Attorneys, we're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
Israel, the birthplace of our faiths for Christians and Jews. That Christmas morning, wise men brought gifts from outside the Holy Land. But in this year of war, this Holy Land and her people are living in fear, and many of the elderly are alone and suffering. Like the wise men or wise women, would you open your heart and give a special holiday food box to someone here in Israel this Christmas, Hanukkah season?
Right now, the hardships in Israel are felt by everyone. People like Hannah, who can't buy food. That is where the fellowship comes in. That's where the fellowship is called. Baruch Hashem. To feed the hungry.
Happy Hanukkah.
Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, your special holiday gift of just $25 can answer their prayers this Hanukkah and Christmas season.
It's people like Chaya that you can touch.
Please call, scan, or go online now to help rush emergency food and healing to elderly Jews and their Christian neighbors struggling to rebuild their lives from the war.
You are a Christian. Those words of Isaiah, that the Spirit of the Lord is upon you. There we go. You're bringing hope. You're bringing tomorrow on the table to her and to so many others. What will happen, amen, when tens of millions of Christians and millions of Jews together, we make this holy day season holy indeed?
Well, we, of course, want to mention the Brown University shooter pictured here is still at large. So the investigation is very much underway, and the authorities are asking for the public's help on this. But later today, President Trump addresses the nation at 9 p.m. Eastern. Newsmax will take the speech live and provide live commentary, so you don't want to miss that. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and to your point, Krisha, a big high-profile speech like this in these remarks, we haven't seen in somewhat of a while from the president there. I'm always kind of curious where in the White House they're going to stage this. The White House is not saying it's going to be an Oval Office address, but we've been talking for the last 2 hours about some of those key topics he's going to touch on.
Know someone who can't watch the Dove? The Dove TV streams worldwide on Roku and Apple TV, plus online at theDove.us. Spread the word. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Wow, we're a week away from Christmas Eve. Welcome to Jerry's Happy Hour, because I had to put him in a seatbelt this morning. It's snowing somewhere.
It is. Yes.
Somewhere
we saw
close.
it. Yes.
I can't believe it because it's so mild down here. 52 at my house.
Yeah, it is really mild.
And windy. Stuff all over the place.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of junk on the roadway, so be careful out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. A lot in the news. There always is. Wait 10 minutes. It'll change. The president's going to address the nation this evening. I'm not sure what that's all about. I have a funny feeling.
What?
There was a little bit of a hint that on Christmas Day, now I don't know how you arrange that, but on Christmas Day, supposedly crude oil prices are going to hit a record low.
Really? How do you predict that?
So how do you regulate that? So we'll see. The Christmas present to the United States is here. Hey, here's $1 a gallon. I don't know what it is.
Well, I'm still reeling from the last time I filled up out of state anyway. And it's no better in state, but yeah, I'm waiting for it. I'll welcome it, yeah.
Well, you were at the People's Republic of California.
Yes, I was.
You were a Slick Willie 2.0 state.
Yeah. You're on a roll, man. Yes.
What do you expect at $6 a gallon?
Oh, my God.
I don't know how people live down there.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, good morning to you. A lot in the news. We'll have that for you. The president is going to address the nation tonight. It'll be 6 o'clock our time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll get bits and pieces of that a little bit later on. Good morning. What do you got?
Well, look at that picture there.
Oh, that's the Wright brothers.
That's the Wright brothers. First airplane flew on this day in history, and guess what? It is National Wright Brothers Day.
All right.
By presidential proclamation, December 17th is Wright Brothers Day. The U.S. Code directs the Wright Brothers Day commemorates the first successful flights in a heavier-than-air, mechanically propelled airplane.
Yeah.
And like brothers do, they said, okay, who's going to fly the first one? Who's got the coin? Whip it out. Let's flip it.
They flipped it.
That's how they did it. Yep.
You know, wouldn't you like to have a Wright brother bicycle?
Oh, yeah, they were bike makers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like to have a Wright brothers bicycle.
Yeah, that would be great.
And yeah, there it is. I have a little wooden model of the Wright brothers plane.
Oh, do you? And you, no doubt, you've seen the original. It's in the Smithsonian.
It's in the Smithsonian. Yeah, and it's pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
How would you like to, with no pilot, lessons, no nothing at all, just a theory, say, okay, I'll climb onto that thing, fire that motor up, let's give it a try?
Well, the answer is today I'd probably do it in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Because I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But back there, it's theoretical, and that's all it was.
And that's all it was.
There's a reason they were in a field that was 50 miles wide and 50 miles long.
Yeah. That's a good
They
point.
were way out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, they were looking for a windy spot, too, and of
Yeah,
course,
you
Kitty
don't
Hawk
wanna look
is
for
windy.
any trees around or anything like that. Well, anyway, it was great.
Yeah, all right. National Wright Brothers Day. There we go.
Right.
Also, National Say It Now Day. With the year winding down, it's the perfect time to show and express gratitude to those around you for all they've done and all that you are appreciative of. It's never too late to say it now. Say it now.
Say it now. Okay, so now
Good stuff.
that does require some discretion.
Yeah, I was going to say, like my mom always said, if you don't have something good to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah, well, that's
All right.
good advice for some leaders.
Yeah, you know what?
Shut up.
Ain't that the truth?
Shut your mouth.
Okay. Well, we only have one thing to eat, but you can have it on a lot of stuff. It is National Maple Syrup Day.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
Cakes, waffles.
Yeah, everything, yeah. Usually from the xylem sap of sugar maple, red maple, or black maple trees. Basically, there are 5 trees of maple trees that you can get syrup from. It's not limited to those. Look at that syrup, yeah. A maple tree can yield sap for 100 years and must be about 45 years old before it can be tapped for syrup making. Really? It takes an average of 40 gallons of sap to produce 1 gallon of syrup. Canada produces approximately 80% of the world's maple syrup, and they consume about 70% of it. Each tablespoon of maple syrup consists of, 7 grams of sugar. Not bad, but it also has health benefits because it is filled with antioxidants. And maple syrup, did you know maple syrup should be stored in the fridge once opened?
Once opened.
Once opened, right. With its sugar content, you might think that maple syrup could last forever on a shelf or in a doomsday prepper cellar, but that may be far from the truth. It's important to note that maple syrup can expire once the bottle is opened and the seal is broken. So once it's opened, it needs to be refrigerated or it could soon go rancid. You can also freeze maple syrup without having to worry about it because you don't have to thaw it. The liquid doesn't freeze solid because of the high sugar content. And maple syrup was first produced by Native Americans. There you go. Have some maple syrup.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out the chicken waffle thing.
Yeah, it's
with maple syrup over
sweet
the top?
and savory. It's all good.
Okay.
Sweet and savory.
Maple syrup day.
Chicken.
All right.
Why not?
All right, 5 minutes past the hour. Here's a guy that's pretty sticky.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op.
Another atmospheric river is moving over the top of our region, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rain with a chance of thunderstorms and highs in the upper 40s to low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Continuing down the Willamette Valley with rain and possibly a thunderstorm with a high near 50 in Salem, a chance of rain and thunderstorms in low 50s for Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene. High wind warnings across central Oregon with a chance of rain and snow, then mostly sunny and low to mid 40s for Prineville and Bend at near 38 in Sun River. In Boise, Idaho, rain then mostly sunny and low 50s. Mostly cloudy with showers on and off along the coast with daytime highs in the mid 50s in Coos Bay and Port Orford, near 52 in Brookings and 55 in Crescent City, California with a light and variable wind. In southern Oregon, a chance of showers, then partly sunny in the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-40s for Grants Pass and Medford and low 40s in Ashland. A chance of rain and snow in near 48 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, partly sunny in mid-40s in Wairika. Showers on and off in Redding with a high near 56 and Chico near 57. A chance of showers in Sacramento, then gradual clearing to partly sunny in low 60s. In the Bay Area, patchy fog and rain with highs in the low 60s for Santa Rosa and Napa. Rain in San Francisco with a high near 61. In San Jose, a chance of rain with patchy fog and high temperature near 66. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Well, there you go. I think that's snow at Mount Ashland.
It sure looks like it.
Yeah.
It's floating around, it's going
Yeah.
up and down and sideways. A little windy, obviously.
It is, and I'm glad to know that because the temperatures on the valley floor are quite mild. So that snow, it's kind of like a snow-rain mix there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's cold enough to turn white, so that's good stuff. So
Yeah, and we're at the base here, so at the top, you know, I'm very optimistic. It's probably even better.
Let's hope so.
All right. Well, are you the captain of your own ship? Well, Pastor,
When my wife says I can be.
there you go. You took the words right out of my mouth. Here with some thoughts on that is Pastor Greg Laurie.
You know, sometimes I hear people say, the reason I don't want to become a Christian is because I will no longer be in control of my own life. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Laurie talking to you about who's really in control here. You know, actually, you're not in control of your own life if you're not a Christian. I hate to break this to you, but someone else is in control, and it's the devil. The Bible says that the devil, called the god of this world in Scripture, blinds the minds of those that do not believe and holds people captive. In fact, we're told we should pray they would be taken out of the captivity of the devil. The reality is, it's only when you become a Christian that you are really set free. So you may be saying you're in charge of your life and you say, I am the captain of my ship, I'm the master of my destiny. Actually, you aren't. Let Jesus be the captain of your ship, and you'll experience the freedom you've wanted all along.
All right. Greg Laurie.
Oh,
God bless him.
yes.
All right. Well, if you're the captain of your own ship, good for you.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me how you're doing with
Now,
that.
you're a boater, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you know boating rules.
Absolutely. Yeah. I took the classes. I got the card.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's blown up.
Well, I have to tell you, when you look at things to do in life,
Yeah.
okay, some guys play golf, some guys fish, some guys ski and break their legs, okay, some guys have boats, some guys have airplanes, okay. If I didn't get into aviation, which, you know, that was how I started in life,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think as a hobby, I could really be attracted to a yacht.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I go on and watch these things, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been watching the Fleming Yacht series.
Oh, no kidding. All right.
You didn't know I had the side, did you?
No.
And so Mr. Fleming, who invented the Fleming yachts,
Okay.
he's retired now, but he had his own personal yacht, and it was a Fleming 55, and he called it Venture.
Okay.
And he's literally taken this yacht literally all over the world and shot documentaries. And you can go online and watch it.
Really?
And it's fabulous. You know how you have these music videos sometimes that just shows the water and everything else, and there's music, and you put that on your TV and it kind of sets the mood in the house?
Yeah.
That's what these things are.
Oh, really?
But it's him in his boat going to Alaska, down through the Caribbean.
What network are you watching these shows on? What is this, Netflix?
Or
is this YouTube?
I think those are YouTube.
YouTube, okay.
Yeah. And so anyway.
Fleming Yachts?
Fleming Yachts.
Really?
So they, now listen to this. I'm into it. They make a 55, a 65, a 75, and an 85.
You're kidding me?
No.
Oh, you know it. Which model do you want?
Well, I don't know.
Golly.
Yeah, I can live on the 55.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
But I know nothing about nautical navigation.
Well, get a captain to drive.
I guess I could go take the course, but
yes, yeah.
Does a red light go in the front or the back? I know an airplane you got green, you got green and blue. Right? So on the airplane you got a red one on the tail. So
oh yeah, well if you can fly an airplane, you can drive a yacht.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. Anyway, so much for that stuff. All right,
that's great.
Let's see. All right, let's go on to the headlines.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
This story that came out yesterday, and now it's getting traction today, but apparently the FBI doubted the probable cause of the Mar-a-Lago invasion of the president's residence in South Florida. And so they came out and they said that, quote, the FBI did not believe it had probable cause to raid the President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home in 2022, but moved forward amidst the pressure from the Biden Justice Department, with other officials saying he didn't give a blank about the optics of the research, and newly classified documents review that they did not have probable cause.
What will happen with this?
Well, they've shot at this president.
Yeah.
They've sued him to death.
They've impeached him twice.
They've raided his home.
Mm-hmm.
And now they find out there's no probable cause. What do you do with this?
Yeah. What do you do?
So, is there statutes here that protect them? Can they go back and arrest these guys?
Oh boy, that's a big.
The president this morning is calling for.
Yeah.
Ray and who's the other guy? I'll think of his name here in a minute. To be arrested. And so. Remember this? This was the most publicized raid in U.S. history.
Right.
Cameras everywhere.
Yes.
Everybody was pre-notified that they were going in. And all the cops and all of the lights and everything outside Mar-a-Lago, they go into the house. They still have not determined what information or files that he had was classified or unclassified. They went through their private quarters, their private drawers, and everything else, and now we find out that there was no probable cause. What do you do with this?
Yeah. You know what their problem was, is they didn't think this would ever see the light of day. They, in their wildest dreams, never imagined that this guy was going to be reelected.
Yeah.
And then these files might be, open to scrutiny, and here we go.
I don't know what you do if these people can be held accountable for this. I don't know. By the way, optics, what is that?
Optics? How it looks. Said this doesn't look good. They said we don't care how it looks.
So they didn't care about.
Right. Where they didn't care how this looks, because it did look bad. Are they, targeting this president? Absolutely. Had they been? Absolutely. Did it continue? And did it look to be that way? Yes, but they didn't care about the optics. By the way, did you see Jack Smith was on there on the little clip? He is testifying today in front of a Judiciary Committee.
Yeah.
It's going to be closed doors.
Yeah, well, it should be.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I wish we had a way to find out what's going on.
I don't mind finding out afterwards, but you got to take the drama cameras out of the initial contact.
You're right.
Because too many people play into it.
Yep, and that sometimes guys like Jack Smith will play into it.
Yeah. Okay, the other story is that the net job growth in America has gone to native-born Americans. It looks like foreign-born employment continues to decline in the United States. Since President Trump has taken office, 100% of the job growth has come in private sectors among native-born Americans, not foreign-born.
Interesting.
People.
Okay.
Isn't that like America first?
Yeah.
Now, job reports come out, and the problem with the job reports in the past, during the Biden administration, they were manipulated.
Yeah.
They came out on the second Friday of the month, and everybody, they tried to tout. It was highly politicized so that it would drive the market where they wanted it to go. And then by the end of the month, they made their adjustments.
Right. And isn't it interesting? The initial reports were highly publicized. The adjustments were kind of on the QT. You know, they were kind of quiet about how they talked about those.
All right, a couple other quick stories. The president has ordered oil tankers blockade on terrorist-linked Venezuelan regime. In other words, no ships coming and going out of Venezuela. He says the theft of assets and has been tied to terrorism, drug smuggling, human trafficking, adding that this was designating regime he was as foreign terrorist organization, FTOs, and directing the U.S. authorities to halt all sanctioned tanker traffic. Now, if Maduro doesn't get the message off of this, there he's in for some bad days.
Yeah, yeah.
And you got to ask yourself, where does this leave China and Russia? If he's going to stop all tankers.
All tankers, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other story that's coming out is the president now has added 20 more nations to its travel ban restrictions for the holidays. I could sit here for the next hour and list all these countries, but if you're traveling and you know which one you can't go to now, most of them have heavily Islamic influence.
Yeah, yeah.
And which means terrorism.
Yes.
And so no to and from those countries. And I think now that's up to 35 countries, I think, somewhere in there. Isn't that amazing?
Yes. Look at them.
Yeah. And one other story I want to just we've been following yesterday. The Brown University shooting and I watched a lot of this yesterday, and I'm going, this is going from bad to worse. They've held their second news conference. The first one was really bad. The second one was a little better, but still something is really wrong here. And I'm thinking, what could it be? And I think a contributing factor is this. You got a very liberal state, you got a very liberal city, and you got a very liberal university.
Right.
They are not thinking or prepared for stuff like this. When the mayor is kind of running the show, apparently he's the one that's trying to pull the loose ends together. The local police department, I don't know, they just seem to be sidetracking some of the questions. Here's a couple that can't answer. What kind of a weapon was used?
Yeah, why can't they answer that? Yeah.
They don't know if it was a handgun or a rifle.
Do they have the rounds?
Okay.
Yeah.
Number two.
Yeah.
Why haven't they allowed interviews of other people in the building and in the classroom at the time of the shooting? Why are they blockading those people from testifying?
I have no idea. Right.
They have spotted one guy in a camera. They've enhanced the video images of that to get it a little bit better.
Right.
They have tracked the timeline. All that seems to fit. But he's also trafficking or walking in an area where there is very little video coverage on campus.
And answer this, why is it they have video coverage of him 2 hours before going in there, but the video camera coverage that they have is like doorbell cams and his private citizens. Nothing from the university. So he's walking around the neighborhood. They have video of him, or at least pictures of him walking around. But when he goes onto campus, there is no tracking. And then he goes into an open building and card accesses a classroom. There are a lot of pieces that don't fit here.
This thing is going bad.
Yeah.
Something's really wrong. And they were, one of the excuses they give is the building where the shooting took place, it's an old building connected, or a new building connected to an old building, and therefore the old buildings didn't have the surveillance cameras that the new one is. Well, you know what? No matter where they shoot around here, where they had the cameras and they were shooting video, they can't see anything.
Yeah,
and you kind of go, why are you guys even coming before the media this disarmed, so to speak?
Yeah.
Something is real. I think what it is, this sounds very, and I don't mean it to be, but it's just my observation, but it just sounds like this liberal community never thought anything like this would happen. They were not prepared.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're dropping the ball like crazy. Then the president of the university comes out, and her response is, you're hurting our feelings because you're questioning whether or not we have the students' security in mind. What?
Yeah.
Why does feelings have anything to do with this?
Who cares about your feelings? Yeah. Right.
Anyway, something's wrong here. I don't know what to tell you about this story. We'll keep track of it, but it's not going anywhere fast. And they're hoping that, kind of like the guy that shot Charlie Kirk, they got videos of him, and they recognizing his pace, his profile, all that somebody would connect the dots and turn them in.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll see how that.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are some of the top stories on this. Here it is, a Wednesday morning, 1 week away from Christmas Eve, and snow in the hills. I have them in a seatbelt. We'll be right back.
We cherish the moments we share with friends and family, surrounded by joy and the spirit of giving. This year, caring for the ones we love has become more important than ever. From everyone at Grange Co-op, we wish you a warm and safe holiday season.
2025 has been a remarkable year of growth for the Dove, and there's still work ahead. We have more exciting plans to bring the gospel to even more people. And once again, you, our faithful viewers and listeners, can help make this happen. Our goal is to raise $223,000. With this, we can renew our tower leases so you can continue to see and listen to the Dove. Then, and this is very exciting, we can construct a full-power TV station, opening the door for the Dove to reach thousands of new viewers via broadcast, cable, and satellite. Would you prayerfully consider sending a special gift to the Dove to help with these major projects? Thank you for helping the Dove change lives and your faithful partnership. The Dove, encouraging and informative.
Early in his football career,
everything that I've known just felt like it was all crumbling.
he got some life-changing advice.
He just basically asked me, like, how's your faith? Are you in the Word? Are you going up and getting to church? And it really kind of opened my eyes, because I was like, no, I'm not.
Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson.
Why would I be upset of how I played when knowing that, like, there's such a bigger purpose?
Thursday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Some interesting stories. This story yesterday broke, which is interesting. Apparently, the president's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, she's really quite a remarkable lady. From everything I read about her, she's sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the White House agreed to let her be interviewed by Vanity Fair.
Okay.
So I guess it's the White House's attempt to maybe, extend an olive branch to the liberal side of the media.
Yeah.
And so in the interview, she made the comment, supposedly she made the comment, that the president's personality is that of one of an alcoholic's personality, even though he doesn't drink.
Right.
Okay, well, that hit the fan yesterday, and the media was running with it that somehow there's rift between the chief of staff and the president brushed it off, and she came unglued. And now the story late yesterday was she's attacking Vanity Fair for disingenuously framing the piece. So this is a raw lesson for any of these people, giving these other people interview, that this is going to be an outcome. Now, given the history of this president suing people for misrepresentation, is he going to let his attorneys go after Vanity Fair?
Wow.
This is really sad. Basically what she was saying, I think it was a tongue-in-cheek thing, in a kind of, how you do jokingly sometimes.
Yeah.
Who knows? We don't know the setting.
Yeah.
But the fact that it hit the news and everybody was trying to drive a wedge between him and her, by yesterday afternoon, she came unglued and she went after Vanity Fair and said, "You guys just did a hack job on this story and on me and what I said." Isn't that something?
Yeah.
It's sad.
Wouldn't you love to? I'd like to see the transcript of how it was said.
Well, you got to get the original stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see. That's yet to come. Well, this is.
Will a lawsuit follow on this?
Well, let's see what the transcript says.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
You know, but
if it's not good, it will. How much?
Well, he's going for $10 billion with the BBC. What did he go for? The CBS was what?
Yeah. Well, everything starts off in the billions.
In the billions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, this is a little bit of a backyard plug, so I'm going to be just upfront about it.
Okay.
But this is the 60th year that our own Blackbird Shopping Center, which has been recognized since 1965 as Medford's North Pole.
Oh.
So the Blackbird, which is iconic, this shows the building of the Blackbird, the big Blackbird there in Medford. They've opened their second store over in Phoenix. But there's the Blackbird originally being built 65 years ago.
Man.
And it's kind of been nicknamed as Medford's North Pole.
Okay.
And of course, you can go there and do all kinds of shit. It's a great store. It's kind of like the old-fashioned way things were done.
Yeah.
They have something of everything.
Right. They've got it all.
Yeah.
And they've got a bunch of my money.
Yeah, well, now that Blackbird goes through various things. They dress them up during the year.
Yeah. Right.
But what's really cool about the Blackbird, there it is, just really iconic, better known as Medford's North Pole. Okay. So you go in the store, there's everything in there.
Everything.
Including the iconic hot dog stand on the outside.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
That's where you can get a true hot dog at a hot dog stand.
Yep. Got your bag filled with fishing equipment.
Yeah.
And you come walking.
You get your
out
licenses. You get
everything.
Skis and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations, Blackbird. 65 years serving our community with excellence.
Nice.
All right, let's take a look at the satellite image. Here's what's going on. We got a little bit of a break in the system today. So what's over us will slowly pass by, but look what's coming behind it.
Yeah, it's just momentary because 95% chance of showers today, tomorrow, tapering off on Saturday, but coming back in full force again on Sunday. Temperatures, low to mid 50s, and then next week on Monday we're going to dip down into the 40s, but Wednesday looks kind of chilly, 39 degrees and a 95% chance of rain. That looks and sounds like snow on the mountain to me. That's what I'm thinking.
Wow.
Anyway, hey, let me ask you, are members of Congress profiting from insider trading by people like, Nancy Pelosi, and there are others that seem to, all of a sudden, they come into Congress and they don't have that much means, and they go out like millionaires when they're. How does this happen? And
it's new math.
And this is aside from lobbyists and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody's taken money under the table or anything like that, but I think a lot of us suspect there's a lot of insider trading going on. Well, Fox Business's Maria Bartiromo spoke with a Wisconsin congressman who believes there are members of Congress profiting from day trading and insider information on Wall Street.
There should be no instance where elected officials are making money off of insider information. If you want to trade stocks, there's a place for that. It's called Wall Street. We have an opportunity to prevent members from day trading, profiting off of insider information. But we have to also make sure that we have individuals who have had successful business careers are still able to come to Capitol Hill. It's my view that we need more people with business experience in Washington who are willing to serve this country. I think there is clear evidence that people are day trading, and I think the appearance of that impropriety is a risk to the integrity of the institution. You can look at the returns and you see massive numbers of trades. We had a United States senator who was the head of the Intelligence Committee who sold their entire portfolio except one stock in the lead up to COVID. And so I think we see this time and again, and it's a reduction of the integrity of the institution, and it is why it is so absolutely essential that we put in place rules of the road that make it clear that elected leaders cannot profit off of insider information. And I'm of the belief that we can pass that legislation.
I doubt it.
Yeah, why are they looking at that now? Why hasn't this been done in the past?
I doubt that they'll. This thing won't get out of committee.
Yeah.
There's too many on the left and the right got their finger in the pie, you know.
You know, you make a good point. I think it's both sides, isn't it?
Yeah, it will take some real fortitude of people to get that out of committee and get it to the floor for a vote. So we'll see what happens. But to your point, yeah, I think they go in as bartenders and they come out as quadrillionaires.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of which, did you see AOC is under fire? You know, the avowed socialist. She had a trip to Puerto Rico where she had excessive spending like $50,000. Well, that's a nice vacation, isn't it?
I don't know why. There's one area that you can put the squeeze, and that's the FEC, Federal Elections Commission, and how they spend their donor dollars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so if she goes to Puerto Rico and she has a $50,000, fling.
Right. Her little vacation.
And she calls that a working session for her campaign. I think that's highly questionable.
Oh, there you go.
All right. We'll take a 5-cent break.
Hello, my name is Ryan Robertson, host of a new program on the Dove, Ministries on the Move. This program is designed to help you and your ministry. Tell us your story. We want to know what God is calling you and your ministry to do. Let us help you have a greater impact. Contact us today at theDove to be a special guest with Ministries on the Move.
Hey, this is Ed, co-owner of Visiting Angels. To continue to serve our seniors, we need more caregivers with a heart to serve. Our mission statement is honoring the art of giving, which means we honor you, the caregiver. We know it's our people that make Visiting Angels the best in-home care provider and a great place to work. Come be our next amazing caregiver. Give us a call or apply online. At Visiting Angels, we're committed to you because we honor the art of giving.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why at Kelly's, it's automotive service with a heart for God, and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Okay, well, welcome back to Common Sense.
Common Sense Central.
Well, yeah, it's right here.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Common Sense Central right here. CSC?
Yeah, CSC, yeah.
CSC.
Yeah.
There we go, Common Sense Central. I like that. We'll go with that. All right, let's check in with CBN News Watch.
This is CBN News Watch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN News Watch. I'm Gary Lane. Today is Wednesday, December 17th, and we begin this half hour with news from the Middle East. Syrian and Palestinian Authority passport holders will not be able to enter the U.S. as of the beginning of the year, the latest in a series of bans. Meanwhile, Israel is adamant that the world must wake up and fight anti-Semitism against the backdrop of the attack in Australia. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has more on our top story from Jerusalem.
The ban bars Palestinian Authority and Syrian passport holders from entering the United States for travel or immigration starting January 1st. The presidential decree, first declared in June on 19 countries, has now been expanded to include 27. U.S. officials say the countries in question and the Palestinian Authority cannot meet basic criteria for identifying their nationals and residents who pose national security and public safety threats and for sharing information with the United States. Against the backdrop of the Hanukkah massacre in Australia, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called on world leaders to take action against anti-Semitism.
I demand that Western governments do what is necessary to combat anti-Semitism and provide the necessary security and safety for Jewish communities around the world. And they should heed our warnings. I demand that they act now.
At a White House Hanukkah celebration, President Trump paid tribute to the victims of the Australia attack and warned of an increasingly anti-Semitic Congress.
If you go back 10, 12, 15 years ago at the most, the strongest lobby in Washington was the Jewish lobby. It was Israel. That's no longer true. You have to be very careful. You have a Congress in particular which is becoming anti-Semitic.
In an interview with Newsmax, Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman said he's been incredibly disappointed with his own Democratic Party.
People are trying to pretend these kinds of words and terms like, from the river to the sea, or to globalize the intifada and all those other things. We all know what this means, and I refuse to pander to that. And for me, it's been a rot, within the American left and within my party.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
President Trump is ramping up the pressure on Venezuela. He's declared the Maduro regime a foreign terrorist organization and ordered a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers. This as the White House defends Chief of Staff Susie Wiles for her candid comments about some administration officials, including the president. Brody Carter reports.
President Trump is ramping up pressure on Venezuela, this morning announcing in a Truth Social post he's blockading all sanctioned oil tankers going in and out of the country. The latest move comes after the U.S. seized a Venezuelan tanker suspected of shipping oil to Iran last week. Observers say the blockade could cripple Venezuela's economy. In a statement, Venezuela's government calling it a reckless and serious threat. Leader Nicolas Maduro is calling for peace, but pledged to defend his country. The administration has mostly targeted drug smuggling boats in the region. In an interview with Vanity Fair, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles said the president, quote, wants to keep on blowing boats up until Maduro cries uncle. Her interview with comments about the president and other top aides is unusual for such a high-placed official whose role is typically behind the scenes.
Susie likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The Ice Maiden, we call her the Ice Maiden.
The controversy stems from candid remarks by Wiles about the first year of President Trump's second term. She's quoted comparing the president's personality to that of an alcoholic, saying he believes, quote, that there's nothing he can't do. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. Some of the strongest criticism is aimed at Attorney General Pam Bondi, saying she, quote, totally whiffed demands to release the Epstein files. She also criticized Elon Musk's dismantling of USAID and described Vice President J.D. Vance as a long-held conspiracy theorist. Wiles and the White House have rejected the article's framing.
This is, unfortunately, another example of disingenuous reporting, where you have a reporter who took the Chief of Staff's words wildly out of context, did not include the context those conversations were had within. I think the most egregious part of this article was the bias of omission that was clearly present.
When asked about the report, President Trump defended Wiles, saying, quote, I didn't read it. I don't read Vanity Fair, but she's done a fantastic job. He also admitted that while he does not drink alcohol, quote, I've often said that if I did, I'd have a very good chance of being an alcoholic. It's a very possessive personality. The fallout from the profile comes as the president prepares to address the nation in a rare primetime Oval Office speech tonight. The White House says he'll highlight his accomplishments and outline next year's priorities. Brody Carter, CBN News.
A look at our... You got caught this time. How about that? What you got in your mouth? You know what? It's a perfect time for the weather. Let's take a look. A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Another atmospheric river is moving over the top of our region, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rain with a chance of thunderstorms and highs in the upper 40s to low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Continuing down the Willamette Valley with rain and possibly a thunderstorm with a high near 50 in Salem, a chance of rain and thunderstorms in low 50s for Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene. High wind warnings across central Oregon with a chance of rain and snow, then mostly sunny and low to mid-40s for Prineville and Bend at near 38 in Sun River. In Boise, Idaho, rain then mostly sunny and low 50s. Mostly cloudy with showers on and off along the coast with daytime highs in the mid-50s in Coos Bay and Port Orford, near 52 in Brookings and 55 in Crescent City, California with a light and variable wind. In southern Oregon, a chance of showers, then partly sunny in the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-40s for Grants Pass and Medford and low 40s in Ashland. A chance of rain and snow in near 48 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, partly sunny in mid-40s in Wairika. Showers on and off in Redding with a high near 56 and Chico near 57. A chance of showers in Sacramento, then gradual clearing to partly sunny in low 60s. In the Bay Area, patchy fog and rain with highs in the low 60s for Santa Rosa and Napa. Rain in San Francisco with a high near 61. In San Jose, a chance of rain with patchy fog and high temperature near 66. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
That is snow.
Check it out.
Just don't know if it's sticking.
Yeah, well, that's another subject matter, but at least it's flying.
Oh.
And I think we have more coming our way.
Okay.
Well, you know, sometimes a person is willing to sacrifice their career in order to voice the truth. And one man did that on this day in history. On December 17th, 1925, one of the most dramatic trials in U.S. military history came to an end. Colonel William Billy Mitchell, a fiery aviation pioneer, was found guilty in a court-martial for insubordination. Mitchell had spent years warning that America was dangerously unprepared for modern warfare. He believed air power would decide future wars, and he wasn't shy about saying military leaders were ignoring that reality. After a series of deadly aircraft accidents, Mitchell publicly accused the Army and Navy of criminal negligence, daring them to put him on trial, and they did. For 7 weeks, the nation followed the proceedings closely. War heroes and future generals testified in his defense, but the panel, which included Douglas MacArthur, ruled against him. Mitchell was suspended from duty and stripped of pay. Rather than remain silent, he resigned. At the time, he was dismissed as reckless and insubordinate, but history proved him absolutely right. He had predicted an early morning attack on Pearl Harbor by Japan. Air power became decisive in World War II, and just years later, the United States Air Force was born, again exactly as Billy Mitchell had predicted. Sometimes the loudest voice in the room turns out to be the one telling the truth. And he would not back down. He even said, yeah, well, you know, we can sink ships with airplanes. They said, no, you can't. And they took one of the captured German battleships that they had, and he took out a few guys, and they took those little biplanes, and they sunk it. They didn't have any trouble doing it. But the military brass still didn't quite believe him. But anyway, he sacrificed it all.
Gosh.
Yeah.
All right, quarter before the hour, the continuing marvelous stories coming from Samaritan's Purse and their work. A lot of their work goes on long past the time that they initially go into a place, and such is the case there in Knott County, Kentucky, after the big flood. They were in there for a long time and rebuilt 18 homes. Here's the story.
In July of 2022, we had went to bed, and my daughter had got up, and she said, "Mommy, you've got to see this water."
I started hearing the rain coming down. I remember my little dog wouldn't let me go to sleep. It's hard to describe how hard it was coming.
We got around 14 or 16 inches just in a few hours. It was bad. It was so bad.
There's two feelings you have, and one is shock and the fear of the unknown. I have this lung condition. The day of the flood, I had finished my testing, so I was officially on the transplant list. I haven't seen the transplant centers in about 2 years now. They told me that I was just wasting time to come back once I had gotten in a permanent housing.
The biggest things was the nightmares because we was afraid. I've had tarps on my roof for 3 years. The water still comes in. I'm always afraid somebody's gonna walk through the kitchen. If they don't know where the soft spots are, I'm afraid they'll fall through the floor. When that flood first happened, I thought, I'm gonna be homeless. And I thought, what am I gonna do? I didn't see a way out with my house.
I'm in eastern Kentucky. Terrible floods here a few years ago just destroyed hundreds of homes. Well, today we are dedicating 18 houses that are finished and ready for people to move into today.
They finally, after 1,228 days of living in RVs, rental properties, and some rough conditions, they are finally going to be in a home that is warm, safe, and this place here is on top of a mountain. They don't have to worry about flooding here.
Those are your keys. Don't lose them.
They have a home, and that's the basic need for everyone. The gift of electricity, the gift of warmth, the gift of a home. I can't imagine anywhere to look for Jesus than right here today.
Isn't it great? It's God.
It's an incredible experience to see God's people being the hands and feet of Christ. Things like this, as bad as they are, it gives us the opportunity as the body of Christ to openly share the gospel with all who will hear.
I have been hopeless. This house here gives me hope that I've not had in 3 years. If it hadn't been for Samaritan Purse, I think I would have given up. We have an awesome God. You know, He's not going to change. I can't thank Samaritan Purse enough. It's been an amazing journey.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff all the way around. All right, we'll take a quick, this time we'll stay in our seat. We'll be right back.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh.
To all our Dove family, thank you for your faithful support of the Dove TV and radio. It's been an exciting year filled with many improvements and growth for the Dove. As we close out 2025, would you prayerfully consider a special year-end gift to the Dove to help us renew our tower leases and prepare for an exciting expansion to reach thousands of new viewers for Christ? Our goal is $223,000. Thank you for partnering with the Dove.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegateRV.com.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
They're fun-loving twins. They love God, hunting, and pranking each other. Join the Hamptons for outdoor adventure every weekend on Twin Factor. Brought to you by Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Truly excellent service.
Okay, welcome back. 10 minutes before the hour, and of course, what that happened in Australia was right at the first day of Hanukkah, and the Jewish community there, and that whole thing is still under investigation. And what an amazing thing that had happened there. It's so sad. So yesterday, I had our good friend Rabbi David Zaslav. I've known David, for well over 30 years, 35, almost 40 years. He was just starting to study to be a rabbi when he and I first met.
Wow. Wow.
And I've watched him, and he's just really a wonderful guy. He has a, he's the head of a synagogue, Havurah Synagogue in Ashland. So I had him on yesterday live. I Skyped him in, and I said, can you explain to us, in layman's term, what is Hanukkah? It's 8 days of celebration.
Yeah.
Here's what he had to say.
Cool.
Several hundred years before the Common Era, the Jews were under the occupation of the Greek Empire. And at a certain point in the 2nd century, from this, it's part of the Greek Empire called the Syrio-Greeks, or the Seleucid dynasty. They desecrated the temple in Jerusalem, and they made it illegal for the Jewish people to practice their religion. So they destroyed the sacred objects inside the temple in Jerusalem, and they oppressed the Jews by not allowing them to practice their religion. And that, of course, led to a group of, I don't know what we would call them, like in the United States, we call them the Patriots. So a group of Patriots, or rebel fighters, or freedom fighters. They were led by a warrior named Judah Maccabee. And Judah Maccabee put a band together, a very small group, but they fought against the great Seleucid dynasty, and they won their battles. That's a very simple story, but that's just one part of it. The next part of it is the spiritual part. They went into the temple in Jerusalem, and they rededicated the temple in Jerusalem. So the word Hanukkah comes from the word dedication. So it's a celebration of the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem. And this is where the story comes, where there was a vial of olive oil, that was only going to last one day, and they lit it, and it lasted for 8 days. So we have two miracles that we celebrate, Perry, on Hanukkah. One is the miracle of the battles, and the other one is the miracle of the light. And we celebrate both. We say sometimes, God forbid, unfortunately, it's necessary to be warriors. It's necessary to fight. And we don't want to, but this is a reality that, let's say, Israel faces. It's a reality American Jews face. You don't have to fight physically, but we know we have to struggle and fight for our liberty at all times, because there are always those who want to squelch us and stop us from fulfilling God's word and from being Jews. But the second miracle that goes with that is the miracle of the light, which is the hope for the future. We light the candle, as we will tonight. I'll be with my grandchildren, and we'll light the 3 candles tonight, and we'll share a meal together, and give presents to the kids, and really celebrate what light means on a spiritual level. It's a great holiday. It's a great festival for people to celebrate freedom.
That's a good description.
So he described it, and then, but anyway, quite a guy, quite an interview. We had a great time together.
Okay. Our pets, sometimes they think they belong. Sometimes they think they're part of the family. Well, today...
Do your pets talk to you?
Yeah, oh, boy, do they.
Boy, do they ever.
Oh, man, they like to remind me of things. Anyway, well, today we meet Lars. Lars is the reindeer who thinks he belongs in the living room.
Oh, jeez.
He's like Rudolph as a fawn, just without the red nose. Lars may be a little confused about whether he's a reindeer or a household pet. Although he lives on a reindeer farm in the UK, Lars has taken up residence inside the main house, where he happily plays with the family dog and acts more like a puppy than a future sleigh puller. His keeper says the mix-up isn't his fault. When Lars was born, his mother wasn't producing enough milk, so he was brought inside and bottle-fed, forming a close bond with the family. Now he's perfectly comfortable indoors and convinced he belongs there. Despite his cozy upbringing, his caretaker believes Lars has a bright future ahead. In fact, she says he's already on track to lead Santa's sleigh someday, once he figures out he's a reindeer.
Lars may need some counseling.
So may his owners. How does Lars let you know he's got to go out?
I don't know.
Oh.
All right, I got Jonathan Fieldstein coming in today, and we got a lot to talk about. Misconceptions of America and how most situations in the Middle East are just misunderstood. We'll talk about that. Doug Gould will be in. Always a good time to talk to him about holidays and bad habits.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to him about that. So look forward to that. By the way, I have a question for you. It's rhetorical.
Okay.
Why is Santa Claus outfit red and not blue?
I don't know. Do you have some insight?
Is Santa conservative or liberal?
Is he MAGA? Is he MAGA?
Well, we'll leave MAGA out of it. He's always been he's been in red long before MAGA.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
We'll talk about that later. I take with Isaiah 41:10 with you today. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, and I will help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. What a great promise. Take that with you today. Isaiah 41, verse 10. There it is.
It's grand, just holding your hand.
We cherish the moments we share with friends and family, surrounded by joy and the spirit of giving. This year, caring for the ones we love has become more important than ever. From everyone at Grange Co-op, we wish you a warm and safe holiday season.
It's been an exciting year filled with many improvements at the Dove. There's still more work ahead. Would you prayerfully consider a special year-end gift to renew tower leases and a broadcast expansion to reach new viewers? Thank you from the Dove.
Panoramic Moto Tours was born really out of my passion just to ride the greatest back roads and the scenic highways in our beautiful Northwest. God put it on my heart to share the experiences and invite others. More than riding beautiful roads, it's the camaraderie and fellowship. It's hearing each other's stories. It's being mutually encouraged on our journeys of life.
Riders can book one of our ready-to-ride guided tours offering the best of Oregon or Northern California. Or book a private custom tour tailored just for your group to destinations like Glacier or Yellowstone. For more information, go to
panoramicmototours.com or call me, Nick, at 541-622-3844. When you find something you love, you just want to share it.
panoramicmototours.com. Your next adventure starts here.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family-run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Fish Lake Resort is a special place to visit during the holiday season, where you can enjoy warm holiday treats next to a crackling fire, all in a spectacular winter wonderland. Enjoy jingling sleigh rides, kids crafts every weekend, the perfect Christmas tree, Nordic trails, and wild adventures on a frozen lake. When the stars come out, your own cozy cabin awaits with a warm fire and hot cocoa steaming. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to plan your visit.
Focus today, an hour you need to strengthen your faith and stay informed.
You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. 1 week away from Christmas Eve. All right, and the holiday season officially upon us. Good morning. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. This is where Jerry Building gets his kicks.
Yeah, or gets kicked?
Oh, no. We'll see how the day goes. We got an hour here. And
Okay.
You get out of line. I have a button.
Yeah. 1 week. Are you ready?
Am I ready? I'm kind of.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I wish the holidays weren't so stressful.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Don't you?
It happens. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm looking at the good side.
But, you know, when you sit down and you have a delicious meal and everybody's calmed down and the fire's on, the dog's sitting at your feet.
Everybody's getting along for the day.
Yeah, for the day. We'll go for the day.
For the day.
Anyway, good morning to you.
Yeah.
Happy Wednesday. A lot in the news. There always is. Anything special today?
Well, today is National Wright Brothers Day. Of course, is the day the first flight took place over in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. And by presidential proclamation, December 17th is Wright Brothers Day. The U.S. Code directs that Wright Brothers Day commemorates the first successful flights in a heavier-than-air, mechanically propelled airplane. I didn't know this was by presidential proclamation, and I don't even know which president proclaimed it.
Say that again?
Yeah. By presidential proclamation, today is National Wright Brothers Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had it. Okay, yeah. Well, it's probably Eisenhower?
You know, maybe. I don't know.
He liked flying.
Yeah. Yes, he did. I mean, he had
He had the first Air Force One.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, I ask, you got this concept, you got this glider, they put a little motor on it. They'd done a couple of glider flights on it, a little bit. They'd been in the air a little bit, but so now they're going to fire up the motor. The brothers flip a coin to see who's going to be first to ride it. Would you have liked to win that coin toss?
Yep. Well, I'm looking at it from my perspective.
And that is?
I know enough about flying, I would probably do
Okay,
that.
let's back up. Nobody knew anything about flying. What would you do with that?
I don't know. Was this a bicycle with wings?
You know what?
Well,
in many ways,
they were bike guys.
They were bike makers. You're
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. You know, there's a reason that it was out in the middle of the field.
Yeah, yeah. There was a lot of space, wasn't there?
But they defied gravity.
Absolutely, they did it. There was a little debate. A lot of, you know, there were a few others that were working on it, and there was actually a little bit of a tussle over in Europe with somebody else that was, you know, going for flight. But they are official. They're the first, and it happened on this day. Also, National Say It Now Day, and especially as we come into Christmas, coming into the end of the year, you know, there are people in your lives that you may not have told exactly how much they mean to you in your life and how much you appreciate the things they've done for you, not only this year, but maybe in general. So it's never too late to say it, so it is National Say It Now Day. How about that?
With discretion.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes the best thing to say is nothing.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So say that loud and clear.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How about a little maple syrup on it? It's the only thing we have to eat. National Maple Syrup Day. It is usually from the xylem sap of sugar maple, red maple, or black maple trees that maple syrup is made, although it's not limited to just those. There are basically 5 that you can get maple syrup from. Now, a maple tree can yield sap for 100 years, but it must be around 45 years old before it can be tapped for syrup making. And it takes an average of 40 gallons of sap to produce 1 gallon of syrup. Canada produces approximately 80% of the world's maple syrup, and it consumes about 70% of it, so they're full of maple syrup. Each tablespoon of maple syrup contains about 7 grams of sugar, but it also has health benefits because it's filled with antioxidants, and maple syrup should be stored in the fridge once opened. With its sugar content, you might think that it could last forever on a shelf or maybe in a doomsday prepper cellar, but that is far from the truth. It's important to note that maple syrup can expire once the bottle is opened and the seal is broken, and then it needs to be refrigerated or it may soon go rancid. You can also freeze maple syrup without having to worry about thawing it before pancake time because the liquid doesn't freeze solid because of its high sugar content. And of course, maple syrup was first produced by Native Americans.
Okay, so does it come out as I'm watching?
It's clear, yeah, it's clear sap. It starts to change when they start boiling it.
Okay.
Because they boil the water out of it.
Okay.
That makes it down into the concentrated
So they extract
form.
it from
Yeah.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
so they boil. All right, so down. Okay, well, but you have to refrigerate it after you open it.
Yeah.
Unlike Butterworth syrup, where you can just put it back in. It has a shelf life of 15 years, doesn't it?
You
know, tell you what you're putting on your pancake there.
Has RFK Jr. looked at Mrs. Butterworth's
Well,
syrup?
you know, I'm sure it doesn't meet the goals and the standards
man.
there, but you can open and close that for quite a long time.
Yes, well, when it comes to maple syrup, all natural means something, doesn't it?
Well, have you ever had really raw maple syrup like that?
Raw, no. Well,
it has a very organic taste to it.
Yes, it does. And there are four grades of maple syrup.
Yeah.
And the first one is gold. The second one is amber. Amber is the one that we use on our pancakes.
Oh, okay.
The more darker it gets, the more flavor. It's kind of like coffee. The darker that roast, the more robust it is.
Okay, well.
Yeah, there you go.
You and Steve would know that.
Hot diggity dog.
Okay, well, here's a guy that's real sticky.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Another atmospheric river is moving over the top of our region, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rain with a chance of thunderstorms and highs in the upper 40s to low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Continuing down the Willamette Valley with rain and possibly a thunderstorm with a high near 50 in Salem, a chance of rain and thunderstorms in low 50s for Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene. High wind warnings across central Oregon with a chance of rain and snow, then mostly sunny and low to mid 40s for Prineville and Bend and near 38 in Sun River. In Boise, Idaho, rain, then mostly sunny and low 50s. Mostly cloudy with showers on and off along the coast with daytime highs in the mid-50s in Coos Bay and Port Orford, near 52 in Brookings and 55 in Crescent City, California with a light and variable wind. In southern Oregon, a chance of showers, then partly sunny in the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-40s for Grants Pass and Medford and low 40s in Ashland, a chance of rain and snow in near 48 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, partly sunny in mid-40s in Wairika, showers on and off in Redding with a high near 56 and Chico near 57, a chance of showers in Sacramento, then gradual clearing to partly sunny in low 60s. In the Bay Area, patchy fog and rain with highs in the low 60s for Santa Rosa and Napa. Rain in San Francisco with a high near 61. In San Jose, a chance of rain with patchy fog and high temperature near 66. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Okay, well, that is snow. It's a little wet. That's the top of Mount Ashland, and it does look like it is sticking a little bit. So if we can get a little bit there to freeze, that's the beginning. You know?
Yeah,
So,
and yesterday they released, Mount Ashland released a great little video on Facebook, and employees were doing the snow dance. They were trying to prompt snow dance. Well, look, they're dancing pretty good, aren't they? The snow dance, yes. That's wonderful.
you were doing that in the recording booth over there the other day, and I just thought you were having a moment. To come to find out you're doing the snow dance over there.
Yeah, dance like no one's watching. There you go.
Right.
Okay, well, you know, here we go. Sometimes we get a little confused, and we think that presents actually bring happiness. And it makes me think about those commercials where, you know, they roll up with a Mercedes with a bow on the top for Christmas, and it's like, oh, there's happiness registering on the faces there, you know, until the warranty runs out. Then that happiness tends to fade when you go in for your first service bill. But anyway, a look at this here now with Pastor Greg Laurie.
But we can lose Jesus at Christmas very easily, and we can substitute other things for him. We can expect the season itself to bring happiness to us. But the joy and the happiness you want in this holiday season is not going to come from a Christmas present under a tree. It's going to come from Christ's presence in your life, right? Because that is the essential message of Christmas. You will call his name Emmanuel, which means God is with us. Christmas is a hard time for a lot of people, because if they've lost a loved one, it's a marker of time. And they remember, my loved one was with me last Christmas. Or maybe they're going through some other kind of hardship, and everything sort of amplifies a little bit in the holiday season. So remember what it's all about. It's about the fact that God came to our world and you're not alone, and he can come even more significantly and live in your heart. Back to that passage I quoted earlier that sums up Christmas. When the time was just right, God sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem those that are under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. So basically what that is saying is, at the right moment in human history, Christ came to our world. To redeem us under the law, we were under the power of sin. He came to break that power through his death on the cross, that we might receive the spirit of adoption. So now we're adopted as God's children, his sons and his daughters. And I love the end of the verse, whereby we cry, Abba, Father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's the story. Yep. All right, good stuff all the way around. Good morning to you. 11 and a half past the hour. Let's take a quick look at some of the top stories. And this is kind of interesting. It broke yesterday, and I don't know where this is going to go, but it's quite explosive. And that is that the FBI did not believe that it had probable cause to raid President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home in 2022. Wow. But they moved forward amid the pressure from the Biden Justice Department, with the official saying that he didn't give a blank about the optics of the search, and that they should go ahead with it anyway. And as we know, they went in. It was highly publicized. They raided Mar-a-Lago with all the lights and everything, went through all of their private areas, and to this day, there's been no determination that the material that they're looking for was ever really probable to the cause.
Yeah, right.
And do you remember how they supposedly handled what was supposed to be classified information? They laid it out on the floor and took pictures of it with their phone?
Yes, yeah.
This was so poorly done. The president now, with this report coming out, is believing now, should Ray, Smith, and Gonzalez all be brought in for some kind. I don't know if you're going to arrest them for doing this. I don't know. I don't know what the protocol would be. Yeah. But now the whole Mar-a-Lago raid was without probable cause.
Interesting. Right.
This is. It just shows you the. You know, they shot at him.
Right.
They tried to sue him to death.
They
impeached him 50 times.
There you go.
And they raided his home.
And I doubt, in their wildest dreams, they had any imagination that this guy would be reelected. Yeah. And all of a sudden, they'd be under scrutiny. This would be looked at. Yeah. And, boy, I don't know where this is going to go.
I don't know if, it's kind of like Senator Scott Kelly. Can he be, I mean, could the military recall him in and then court-martial him? I mean, that's a possibility.
Right, right.
Can you call these previous people back in for stuff that they did, or is there a statute here? I don't know.
I know. And were there any laws violated in this process?
I don't know. The president's going to give a live speech to America tonight at 9 o'clock. And Eastern time, 6 o'clock our time. I don't know if he mentions this kind of stuff, but I think he's going to tout the economy.
Yeah, he is.
All right, the golden age is upon us because they looked at the jobs report came out, and they said 100% of the job growth since President Trump has been reelected, 100% of the job growth has come from private sector among native-born Americans, not foreign-born people.
Okay.
So the growth is from, I think that is a result of the agenda of America First, okay?
Yeah.
The president, in the meantime, the other story, he is saying to Venezuela, we got you surrounded, guys. You ain't going nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
He is saying that we are going to have total oil tanker blockade around Venezuela. No ships going or coming will be allowed. He said the theft of our assets, and they tied to terrorism and drug smuggling and human trafficking. And he is now taking all of that and redesigning it as what they call an FTO, which is a foreign terrorist organization. The question is, where does Russia and China go with this if they can't get oil out of Venezuela?
Yeah, I don't know. What can they do?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And the president has ordered that all the video on some of these smuggling boats not become available.
Right, yeah, the blowing.
So I don't know, does that go to court for subpoenas and all that stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. But also the tanker that they boarded, it was hauling oil to Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the other story is that during this holiday season, they're thinking 54.4 million people will travel.
Whoa.
Starting this weekend.
Whoa.
54.4 million. At some point in the sky, there could be close to 2 million people in airplanes over the skies at any given point in America.
Where are you going?
You know, I'm going from my bed to the shower to my chair.
People are coming to my house.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, the president has, through the Homeland Security and everything else, they have now added 20 more nations to the restriction area for travel bans. There's so many nations out there. Most of these nations that are now on the restricted travel ban are nations that have significant Islamic influence. There's a little bit of the picture of the map there. So there's quite a few of them. I think it's 30 plus nations now that's got the travel ban. So we'll see where that goes. And then a last story is that I did watch the news conference yesterday again of what's happening with Brown University.
Oh gosh.
This is really bad. For some reason, this guy that shot these 2 students and wounded others, there's high question about video cameras, where they were located, how come they weren't on. Some of them were just home cameras that weren't connected to a security system. There's just a lot of problems. We haven't got a definitive answer what kind of a gun it was.
Right.
They won't talk to interview people that have been wounded and what they saw and how they would describe the shooter. Other people in the classroom that were not shot and were not injured, they're not talking to them. The president of the university comes out. She's more upset with the feelings of the staff being criticized for the lack of security than she was about anything else. Wow. And they've narrowed it down to one person walking around the streets. Apparently fits the timeline and the location. Yeah. They've enhanced those videos, and they're looking for that person of interest, but they have not apprehended the deal. But I have never seen 2 press conferences held by city and state officials fall apart like this.
Yeah.
Twice it did. I mean, this is an embarrassing news conference.
Yeah, and we've seen pictures of him walking around the neighborhood like a couple hours before the incident occurs. But have we seen any images from him on actual university cameras?
See, I don't know. There's so many unanswered questions that something's wrong here. You know, I don't want to simplify a tragedy, but it could be simple as you have a very liberal state, a very liberal town, and a very liberal university. And these people, it's kumbaya with them.
Right.
And something like this happens, they really just don't know how to respond to this. Before it's all over, it's gun control.
Yeah. Right, gun violence.
Yeah.
Yes.
So something's really wrong with this. And yesterday's news conference was, I guess, better organized than the first one, but no substantive response to the questions. I'm going, why did you even hold this news conference? Are you trying to redeem yourself from the first one?
Yeah.
Something's missing. There's a missing part, and it could be nothing more than they're just flat in over their head.
Yeah, well, that could be.
We'll see how that goes. All right, those are the top stories on today, and if you like maple syrup on your waffle and chicken, pour it on there, baby.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
We cherish the moments we share with friends and family. surrounded by joy and the spirit of giving. This year, caring for the ones we love has become more important than ever. From everyone at Grange Co-op, we wish you a warm and safe holiday season.
Hey, it's your old car here. Remember me? Remember us? You barely even turn me on anymore. It's clear you don't need me, but that's perfectly fine, my friend, because you can choose to give this old car new purpose and donate. There are incredible nonprofits out there that accept cars just like me. So call or donate online. Donating a vehicle is easy, the pickup is free, and your gift is tax deductible.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
At Rogue Hearing in Phoenix, we help you hear life again, clearly and comfortably. From expert hearing tests to custom aids and more, the team at Rogue Hearing delivers care you can trust. Rogue Hearing in Phoenix at the shops at Exit 24. Personalized hearing care right here at home.
All right, welcome back. Happy Wednesday, 1 week from Christmas Eve. Wow. This story is kind of interesting. It did break yesterday, and I find this interesting because the White House has allowed the Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. Now, she's really quite a remarkable lady in her accomplishments, and she's been with the president a long time, and in a private way, and then she becomes Chief of Staff of the White House, which is, you know, kind of like one of the most coveted jobs in politics.
Yeah.
And she was allowed to go and sit down and do an interview with Vanity Fair, which is kind of like, okay, is this kind of like an olive branch, you know? So she sits down and does an interview, and somewhere in the interview she made the comment that the president has an alcoholic's personality.
Okay. Even though he doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink.
Right.
He doesn't drink at all.
Yeah, none. Yeah. Never has.
When I heard the story, I laughed. I thought, well, you know, I guess, you know, with the way he conducts himself, you could almost understand maybe what she was trying to communicate, okay?
Yeah, in CBN, they kind of followed that out. They said he's got an alcoholic's personality, and he doesn't believe he can't do anything.
Yes. Almost a messianic personality.
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
there you go.
So anyway, you add this together, she called it alcoholic anyway.
Okay.
The president brushed it off, and then late yesterday afternoon, she went on X and really blasted Vanity Fair for being disingenuous and basically rewriting the story in the way that she said it.
Right, right.
So I guess it's a situation where we have to see the exact transcript.
You know what?
But the media jumped on it yesterday and tried to put a wedge between her and the president.
Hey, here's the deal. Why even bother with an interview with Vanity Fair if they can't put Melania on the cover?
Well, bingo.
Yeah.
All right, good job. All right, let's come back to some more practical fun.
Okay.
65 years ago, in a little town called Medford, Oregon, started the construction of a big bird.
Yeah.
And it's better known as Blackbird.
Yeah.
Blackbird is celebrating 60 years.
Wow.
It was erected in 1965, and here we are, 2025. So the Blackbird is 60 years old, but why do I bring this story to you? It immediately, after its first completion, when it was fully built and put up there, it's an iconic thing.
Yeah.
They put various clothing on him, or it, whatever it is. Big old black bird.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it immediately was called Medford's North Pole since 1965. Now, you go in there, and it's kind of like a Santa's workshop.
Yeah, it's great.
They have everything they can. And they got their new store down in Phoenix, which is also a hoot of a store. So you go in there, and I have to tell you one thing about the Blackbird. Okay, now everybody goes there.
Yep.
It's just one of those places you go.
Yep.
In fact, if there's anything, you got a parking problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bird has had all kinds of various things on it, and they've painted it and fixed it through the years.
Yeah.
So 60 years of being Medford's North Pole. But the thing about the Blackbird I like is, dun, da, da,
what?
It's got a traditional hot dog stand out front.
Yes, it does. And
you can get a true hot dog, and you can put what you want on it, and you can sit there under the little canopy and just pork out on a nice little hot dog.
It's amazing that statue's been sitting there 6 years. It doesn't look a day over 50.
Well, you get painted 50 times. You'd look pretty good, too.
I'll tell you what, though.
I don't know how you get the Blackbird plastic surgery, but they do pretty good at it.
We've all dropped a few dollars at Blackbird.
Oh, yeah.
Some great fishing equipment there.
There we go. Yeah. All right, let's check out Wall Street for this Wednesday morning. Thank you, Preston. He's with Smart Lawn. If you're smart, you'll call him and you won't mow your lawn again. The Dow's happy today. It's up 213. The S&P's off, the NAS is off a little bit, 34, and the S&P's down about 1 1/3. So kind of mixed numbers there at the ringing of the bell. We'll see how the day goes. In the meantime, gold continues to set some high records, 43.69. Look at this. Silver is at $66 an ounce.
Whoa, whoa.
Wow. And crude oil's up a little bit, but still down, $59.20 a barrel. So we'll see what the president says tonight. He's making a national address at 6 o'clock our time, so we'll see what he has to say. I think it's going to be primarily driven by the economy.
Hey, are you ready for your tax refund?
Well, I guess, no tip, tax on tips.
Tips, no tax on Social Security.
Social Security.
But refunds?
Well, tariff refund?
I don't know. Well, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent spoke with Fox Business's Maria Bartiromo, and he says U.S. households can expect to see substantial tax refunds in 2026.
The One Big Beautiful Bill was passed on July 4th, but for working Americans, it was retroactive to the beginning of the year. Most taxpayers did not change their withholding, so as a result, we're going to see very substantial 100 to 150 billion of refunds in the first quarter go directly to Americans' pockets. So the sooner they file, the sooner they'll get them. Our estimate is it could be 1,000, 2,000 per household, depending on the number of workers.
Whoa. Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. And I think that's going to be a key point of his speech tonight. He also mentioned that, now, I don't know how this comes about, so this is, let me just put it in the rumor category. That's a safe thing to do, because rumors are slippery.
Yes.
Kind of like...
Come on, man.
Kind of like maple syrup.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, he mentioned that Christmas Day will be the lowest prices for oil in decades.
Really?
So I don't know how you manipulate that.
How do you do that?
I don't know, but it's down to $59 a barrel. If he drops it even $2 or $3 more, we're in that category. Okay, so is that going to be the big Christmas present for America? We're going to see. I will say this: I bought gas for $3 the other day.
Oh,
and
lucky you! Yeah,
I
thrilled.
was happy about it.
Yes, well, we know my debacle and my filling up in California was like terrible. $171.
It was $6 a gallon, right?
$6 where I bought it. Now I'm sure there were.
And you went 10 miles and it was $3 something.
And it was $3.25. But I crossed a state line to see that into Arizona. But
so you were in the People's Republic of California.
Yeah, and you know what?
It was a Slick Willie 2.0 state.
And we talk about taxes and fees adding to it, but California's got another problem. And that is Gavin Newsom's been closing. They're closing refineries.
Yeah.
And that is a huge problem. So I don't know how they're going to fix it.
I don't know either. I will say some of these refineries, especially in the Bay Area, through the years, there was always a rebuilding, fixing. So, I don't know the status of those, but where do you build a refinery these days? And do you make them at ports? A lot of the fuel that comes here from for our airport, they have to go to Portland to get it out of the big tanks up there because it comes in on ships.
Okay.
And they bring it down here. So I don't. Hey, just a layman, I put things in a tank. I pull
the thing, and then
and I watch this thing go around and around like that. You know,
where's it going to stop? No. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Do you ever stop it just so you save yourself a headache? I go, I really don't need to cap this off. That's enough.
Right.
That'll get me to Tuesday.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to stay in our seats. We'll be right back.
To all our Dove family, thank you for your faithful support of the Dove TV and radio. It's been an exciting year filled with many improvements and growth for the Dove. As we close out 2025, would you prayerfully consider a special year-end gift to the Dove to help us renew our tower leases and prepare for an exciting expansion to reach thousands of new viewers for Christ? Our goal is $223,000. Thank you for partnering with the Dove.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Okay, welcome back. 28 minutes before the hour. Coming up, I'm going to have Jonathan Fieldstein. The reason I mentioned that early, he's the president of Genesis 123 Foundation, and he talks about his recent trip where most Americans have a misconception of what's really going on in the Middle East. And I would have to say that's probably true. We're products of wherever we get our news and the bias of who's delivering it there. But the Middle East is a very complicated place. There's no easy solution to it, but it's still in the news, very much so. And so let's check in with CBN Newswatch and get the latest.
This is CBN Newswatch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN Newswatch. I'm Gary Lane. Today is Wednesday, December 17th, and we begin this half hour with news from the Middle East. Syrian and Palestinian Authority passport holders will not be able to enter the U.S. as of the beginning of the year, the latest in a series of bans. Meanwhile, Israel is adamant that the world must wake up and fight anti-Semitism against the backdrop of the attack in Australia. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has more on our top story from Jerusalem.
The ban bars Palestinian Authority and Syrian passport holders from entering the United States for travel or immigration starting January 1st. The presidential decree, first declared in June on 19 countries, has now been expanded to include 27. U.S. officials say the countries in question and the Palestinian Authority cannot meet basic criteria for identifying their nationals and residents who pose national security and public safety threats and for sharing information with the United States. Against the backdrop of the Hanukkah massacre in Australia, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called on world leaders to take action against anti-Semitism.
I demand that Western governments do what is necessary to combat anti-Semitism and provide the necessary security and safety for Jewish communities around the world. And they should heed our warnings. I demand that they act now.
At a White House Hanukkah celebration, President Trump paid tribute to the victims of the Australia attack and warned of an increasingly anti-Semitic Congress.
If you go back 10, 12, 15 years ago at the most, the strongest lobby in Washington was the Jewish lobby. It was Israel. That's no longer true. You have to be very careful. You have a Congress in particular which is becoming anti-Semitic.
In an interview with Newsmax, Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman said he's been incredibly disappointed with his own Democratic Party.
People are trying to pretend these kinds of words and terms like, from the river to the sea, or to globalize the intifada and all those other things. We all know what this means, and I refuse to pander to that. And for me, it's been a rot, within the American left and within my party.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
President Trump is ramping up the pressure on Venezuela. He's declared the Maduro regime a foreign terrorist organization and ordered a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers. This as the White House defends Chief of Staff Susie Wiles for her candid comments about some administration officials, including the president. Brody Carter reports.
President Trump is ramping up pressure on Venezuela, this morning announcing in a Truth Social post he's blockading all sanctioned oil tankers going in and out of the country. The latest move comes after the U.S. seized a Venezuelan tanker suspected of shipping oil to Iran last week. Observers say the blockade could cripple Venezuela's economy. In a statement, Venezuela's government calling it a reckless and serious threat. Leader Nicolas Maduro is calling for peace, but pledged to defend his country. The administration has mostly targeted drug smuggling boats in the region. In an interview with Vanity Fair, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles said the president, quote, wants to keep on blowing boats up until Maduro cries uncle. Her interview with comments about the president and other top aides is unusual for such a high-placed official whose role is typically behind the scenes.
Susie likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The ice maiden, we call her the ice maiden.
The controversy stems from candid remarks by Wiles about the first year of President Trump's second term. She's quoted comparing the president's personality to that of an alcoholic, saying he believes, quote, that there's nothing he can't do. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. Some of the strongest criticism is aimed at Attorney General Pam Bondi, saying she, quote, totally whiffed demands to release the Epstein files. She also criticized Elon Musk's dismantling of USAID and described Vice President J.D. Vance as a long-held conspiracy theorist. Wiles and the White House have rejected the article's framing.
This is, unfortunately, another example of disingenuous reporting, where you have a reporter who took the Chief of Staff's words wildly out of context, did not include the context those conversations were had within. I think the most egregious part of this article was the bias of omission that was clearly present.
When asked about the report, President Trump defended Wiles, saying, quote, I didn't read it. I don't read Vanity Fair, but she's done a fantastic job. He also admitted that while he does not drink alcohol, quote, I've often said that if I did, I'd have a very good chance of being an alcoholic. It's a very possessive personality. The fallout from the profile comes as the president prepares to address the nation in a rare primetime Oval Office speech tonight. The White House says he'll highlight his accomplishments and outline next year's priorities. Brody Carter, CBN News.
Well, there you go.
How about that?
Twists and turns of all of that. I don't know what to tell you about all that.
Nope. Nope, I wouldn't know unless I read the article, so.
If I was the president.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
I wouldn't do that speech tonight.
Oh, what would you do?
I'd do it between Christmas and New Year's.
Oh, why?
Because
you're the president and you can.
Yeah, I think it's timing.
Oh, all right.
You know,
all right.
I think he has got some. He's got some pressure from his own side of the equation, and that needs to calm down. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You've got a lot of critics out there these days, and some of it is probably deserved. But I think that he thinks he can blow past all that and get in front of it, and this could be the wrong timing. You know.
Yeah.
how great I am. I don't think that's the message that the country wants to hear right now.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Yep.
Call him.
Call him.
Send it. And has some chicken and waffles with maple syrup over the top.
Absolutely.
This is what this guy's going to do that does the weather. That's what he does.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. Another atmospheric river is moving over the top of our region, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, rain with a chance of thunderstorms and highs in the upper 40s to low 50s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Continuing down the Willamette Valley with rain and possibly a thunderstorm with a high near 50 in Salem, a chance of rain and thunderstorms in low 50s for Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene. High wind warnings across central Oregon with a chance of rain and snow, then mostly sunny and low to mid 40s for Prineville and Bend at near 38 in Sun River. In Boise, Idaho, rain to mostly sunny and low 50s. Mostly cloudy with showers on and off along the coast with daytime highs in the mid-50s in Coos Bay and Port Orford, near 52 in Brookings and 55 in Crescent City, California with a light and variable wind. In southern Oregon, a chance of showers, then partly sunny in the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-40s for Grants Pass and Medford and low 40s in Ashland, a chance of rain and snow in near 48 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, partly sunny in mid-40s in Wairika, showers on and off in Redding with a high near 56 and Chico near 57, a chance of showers in Sacramento, then gradual clearing to partly sunny in low 60s. In the Bay Area, patchy fog and rain with highs in the low 60s for Santa Rosa and Napa. Rain in San Francisco with a high near 61. In San Jose, a chance of rain with patchy fog and high temperature near 66. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Mount Bachelor, there you go. Look at that shot.
A little bit more snow, but still unskiable or unboardable, but they're waiting as well.
Like I said, we went from 1/8 of an inch with Mount Ashland to 1/4 of an inch at Mount Bachelor.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they're much cooler there, much colder there.
Yeah, a little higher there.
Yeah. So hopefully this is the beginning of the base that can freeze and build from there. So.
Yeah, well, we need it. So, we could be getting it in this next wave. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll let you know. Well, sometimes a person is willing to sacrifice their career in order to voice the truth. And one man did that on this day in history.
On December 17th, 1925, one of the most dramatic trials in U.S. military history came to an end. Colonel William Billy Mitchell, a fiery aviation pioneer, was found guilty in a court-martial for insubordination. Mitchell had spent years warning that America was dangerously unprepared for modern warfare. He believed air power would decide future wars, and he wasn't shy about saying military leaders were ignoring that reality. After a series of deadly aircraft accidents, Mitchell publicly accused the Army and Navy of criminal negligence, daring them to put him on trial, and they did. For 7 weeks, the nation followed the proceedings closely. War heroes and future generals testified in his defense, but the panel, which included Douglas MacArthur, ruled against him. Mitchell was suspended from duty and stripped of pay. Rather than remain silent, he resigned. At the time, he was dismissed as reckless and insubordinate, but history proved him absolutely right. He had predicted an early morning attack on Pearl Harbor by Japan. Air power became decisive in World War II, and just years later, the United States Air Force was born, again exactly as Billy Mitchell had predicted. Sometimes the loudest voice in the room turns out to be the one telling the truth.
It was in this case, Billy.
Was he ever reinstated?
No, he was out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. What a great story. Thank you. Another great story comes from Samaritan's Purse, as you know, the work that they do around the world, but even in Kentucky, as a result of the ravaging floods that were in that area quite a while ago, there, especially in Knott County, they went in and they rebuilt a bunch of homes. And you don't see this end of the story often, but here it is.
In July of 2022, we had went to bed, and my daughter had got up, and she said, "Mommy, you've got to see this water."
I started hearing the rain coming down. I remember my little dog wouldn't let me go to sleep. It's hard to describe how hard it was coming.
We got around 14 or 16 inches just in a few hours. It was bad. It was so bad.
There's two feelings you have, and one is shock and the fear of the unknown. I have this lung condition. The day of the flood, I had finished my testing, so I was officially on the transplant list. I haven't seen the transplant centers in about 2 years now. They told me that I was just wasting time to come back once I had gotten in a permanent housing.
The biggest things was the nightmares because we was afraid. I've had tarps on my roof for 3 years. The water still comes in. I'm always afraid somebody's gonna walk through the kitchen. If they don't know where the soft spots are, I'm afraid they'll fall through the floor. When that flood first happened, I thought, I'm gonna be homeless. And I thought, what am I gonna do? I didn't see a way out with my house.
I'm in eastern Kentucky. Terrible floods here a few years ago just destroyed hundreds of homes. Well, today we are dedicating 18 houses that are finished and ready for people to move into today.
They finally, after 1,228 days of living in RVs, rental properties, and some rough conditions, they are finally going to be in a home that is warm, safe, and this place here is on top of a mountain. They don't have to worry about flooding here.
Those are your keys. Don't lose them.
They have a home, and that's the basic need for everyone. The gift of electricity, the gift of warmth, the gift of a home. I can't imagine anywhere to look for Jesus than right here today.
Isn't it great?
It's God.
It's an incredible experience to see God's people being the hands and feet of Christ. Things like this, as bad as they are, it gives us the opportunity as the body of Christ to openly share the gospel with all who will hear.
I have been hopeless. This house here gives me hope that I've not had in 3 years. If it hadn't been for Samaritan Purse, I think I would have given up. We have an awesome God. You know, He's not going to change. I can't thank Samaritan Purse enough. It's been an amazing journey.
Wow.
You know, I can't say enough. I don't know where you are in your season of life, but if you're looking for purpose, you may want to Google Samaritan's Purse. They'll train you. Whatever your background is, God can take that, use you in an organization like that to do work like that or relief work anywhere in the world. But it's just amazing. 18 homes at once.
That is amazing.
That's just absolutely beautiful. What a great story. All right, we'll take a quick maple syrup break.
To all our Dove family, thank you for your faithful support of the Dove TV and radio. It's been an exciting year filled with many improvements and growth for the Dove. As we close out 2025, would you prayerfully consider a special year-end gift to the Dove to help us renew our tower leases and prepare for an exciting expansion to reach thousands of new viewers for Christ? Our goal is $223,000. Thank you for partnering with the Dove.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Clean water is essential to your good health. UltraPure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family-run, UltraPure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Okay, welcome back. About 10 minutes before the top of the hour, and yesterday, I had Rabbi David Zaslow on. We've known Rabbi Zaslow for quite a few years here in Southern Oregon, quite a guy. He was just studying to become a rabbi when he and I first met. This would have been back in the early 90s. And so anyway, we've been friends ever since, and he is the spiritual leader there of one of the synagogues in Ashland, and so we've got this great relationship. So I asked him, in light of what happened in Australia on the first day of Hanukkah with the mass shooting over there, if non-Jewish people, think about this, should non-Jewish people be concerned over anti-Semitism? And here's what he had to say.
Harry, I think the non-Jewish world that allies itself with Israel and with the Jewish people not only has spiritual blessing as is promised in the Torah, in the Bible, but also has the knowledge that it's supporting, I don't want to say the winning team, but I want to say a nation and a people whose whole goal it is to be a model for freedom and liberation, connection to God. Our whole purpose as Jews, it's not to be scapegoats, but definitely we are the canary, in the cave to see how much oxygen there is. And wherever there's freedom, wherever there's a struggle for freedom, there are going to be Jewish people right there at the forefront, just like there are right now in the world. And so I think the allyship between Jews and non-Jews, whatever their faith traditions are, is really important for the world, because it's a model for what our hope will be for what God wants to bring into the world in the future. What we call it, the Messianic times, the coming of the Messiah, the whole notion that there will be some level of perfection in the world. And in order to get there, we've got to get rid of these edges and this hatred for one another. We've got to learn how to be resilient, but we also have to learn how to debate. We also have to learn how to argue with each other in a civil manner, with our passions, but not demonizing each other. This is the problem. I know your previous guest was saying, the far left and the far right demonize the other side. And demonization of the other is really a dangerous path. It destroys the possibility for peace. And so the far, far extremes of the political spectrum need to be pointed out so that people, more in the middle, whether it's normative liberal or normative conservative, can have their debates in Congress, let's say, and come up with a good, I don't even call it a compromise, but a good balanced way of running our government. And that's what I was saying about operating systems before. Israel has an operating system that's based upon, dialogue. The Knesset is filled with arguments, and arguments are good when they're done. We say L'Shem Shemayim, for the sake of God, for the sake of heaven.
I think he makes a good point there. One of them is, can we reopen dialogue in a civil way?
In a civil way, yes. Yeah.
I don't know. It's easy to point fingers. And as he said, extreme left and extreme right, they throw, grenades at one another and then wait till the smoke clears and see who's still standing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he brings up a good point, but I think a lot of people in America don't understand anti-Semitism, and I can't, for the life of me, understand the rise of anti-Semitism, which I think is nothing more than the product of legacy media. And I don't understand the vocal anti-Semitism within the Christian community. It's real, it's there, and it's mind-blowing to me. So, I've been. No, I won't say that. I don't need that. I still need the emails. The point being is that Scripture's pretty clear. We should be praying for the peace of Jerusalem. Anyway, that's David Zaslow. I have Jonathan Fieldstein coming up. We'll be talking to him about that. Doug will be in here talking about the rise of very accessible items that can instantly put you into an addictive position.
Oh.
Across the counter.
Really?
Right here in our backyard.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
I can't wait.
Okay.
All right. Well, we love our pets. Sometimes they become a part of our family.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they assume they belong places that maybe they don't belong. Well, hey, today we meet Lars. Lars is the reindeer who thinks he belongs in the living room.
Oh.
He's like Rudolph as a fawn, just without the red nose. Lars may be a little confused about whether he's a reindeer or a household pet. Although he lives on a reindeer farm in the UK, Lars has taken up residence inside the main house, where he happily plays with the family dog and acts more like a puppy than a future sleigh puller. His keeper says the mix-up isn't his fault. When Lars was born, his mother wasn't producing enough milk, so he was brought inside and bottle-fed, forming a close bond with the family. Now he's perfectly comfortable indoors and convinced he belongs there. Despite his cozy upbringing, his caretaker believes Lars has a bright future ahead. In fact, she says he's already on track to lead Santa's sleigh someday, once he figures out he's a reindeer.
Yeah, how do you
clean
know?
up after himself?
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you know when he needs to go out? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, so he's going to pull Santa's reindeer.
Yeah.
So the quick question is, you have any idea why Santa dresses in red and not in blue?
No, not a clue. Do you?
Just thought I'd ask.
No. Do you have any speculation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. So is he conservative?
Must be.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Joke. Isaiah 41, verse 10, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Now, there's a promise for you today. Take that with you. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. There's a little snow on Mount Bachelor, a little snow on Mount Ashland, and a big smile on Jerry's face.
We cherish the moments we share with friends and family, surrounded by joy and the spirit of giving. This year, caring for the ones we love has become more important than ever. From everyone at Grange Co-op, we wish you a warm and safe holiday season.
He's got the whole world in his hands, and he knows the plans for us. Above and beyond we could ask or imagine, his grace is more than enough. It's in his hands, it's in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Come on, Steve.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why at Kelly's, it's automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Early in his football career, Everything that I've known just felt like it was all crumbling.
He got some life-changing advice.
He just basically asked me, like, how's your faith? Are you in the Word? Are you going up in the church? And it really kind of opened my eyes, because I was like, no, I'm not.
Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson.
Why would I be upset of how I played when knowing that, like, there's such a bigger purpose?
Thursday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV.
Welcome home to the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative. More at thedove.us.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and I've been looking forward to having our good friend Jonathan Fieldstein back with us. He is the president of the Genesis 123 Foundation, whose mission is to build bridges between Jews and Christians. He's the host of the Inspiration from Zion podcast. He's also the author of a fascinating book called Israel, the Miracle. He's working with Christian leaders all over the world to realize true peace in Gaza, and details which can be found at what they call the solutionforpeacegaza.com. That is a website, so check that out, solutionforpeaceingaza.com. IsraelTheMiracle.com for the book, and he has another one, rootandbranchisrael.com, or Genesis123.co. But he's got a lot of places to connect with, so check all of those out. My friend, Jonathan, good to see you, friend. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, Perry. It's really nice to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Thanks for your time. We value it greatly. So you've been traveling around. You were in the United States. What were you doing over here?
Indeed. Well, I come over to the U.S. frequently. It's a month-long speaking tour, speaking in churches, doing Shabbat programs with Christians throughout the Bible Belt, and planning for the really exciting upcoming Root and Branch Unity Conference that's taking place in Atlanta, March 6th and 7th. So if anyone's interested in joining us for something that's super inspiring with my friend who I believe I've talked about with you, Marzi Amirizadeh, we're going to be doing something very special in Atlanta, and a lot of work is going into that and planning for Root and Branch in general.
Okay. Got a lot of questions. Just kind of a 30,000-foot view. Coming back into the United States and going back, do you think here in America we're getting the proper view of what's really going on there in Israel?
No, you can't, and that's not necessarily a criticism, because you're not here, and there's so much nuance. The big thing that I think people are missing in America, and it's almost as if it's a deliberate deceit, and that's the only thing I'd be critical about, is the notion that we're in some sort of peace process. We're not. We're about 2.5 months into a ceasefire. We've seen all but one of the hostages who have been kidnapped by Hamas returned, and the one whose body remains is there for now over 800 days. Those are miraculous things, but we've still seen attacks on Israel. We've seen rockets being fired from Gaza. I haven't spoken to you in a while, but my oldest son has been deployed, and is being redeployed tomorrow, actually inside Syria. There's been a lot of jihadi threats coming from Syria as well, a year into their, I don't even know what to call it, the latest revolution, the change of regime, but that's scary. And we live with constant reality of threats that aren't published, and even when things are happening, they appear relatively minor. So no, it's one of the things that I try to do when I'm speaking, like with you here live, when I'm traveling and speaking in churches, home churches, and other events, and through my writing and podcast, to try and just communicate the day-to-day reality of life here.
So let's speak into the ceasefire a little bit. Violations here, and you would think that would null and void the ceasefire. Any idea why President Trump isn't giving Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu the okay to finish the job?
My only idea is that Trump is, as much as I admire him and I'm grateful for many things, he's very transactional. He is a businessman, He sees things in contractual terms that there's a two sides and you make an agreement and you live by your agreement. And I think it's hard for people in the West to understand the evil, the reality of the evil that's personified here in radical Islam. I think that it's a misperception that people in the West have broadly, that you can rationalize with these people, make deals, and they will abide by the deals. And President Trump himself has talked about receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. I do think he should receive it, but I don't think that this Hamas deal and ceasefire is something that one can pretend that is bringing us any closer to peace. It's rather, yesterday I celebrated my oldest grandson's 7th birthday with him, and I looked at this beautiful little boy with such joy, but with such grief, that knowing that in about 12 years, we're not going to have peace, and he'll have to put on a uniform and be a combat soldier like his father, like his uncles. And this is, barring some miracle from God, this is the reality with which we are doomed. But I don't want to end that thought on a doomsday note. The realities here are our realities. But the fact that I'm raising my grandchildren here, my kids are raising my grandchildren here, and I've had the privilege of raising my children. And as I become an old man here, I have the privilege of living out the prophecies that God promised. So I'll accept all of those, even with the risks and threats. But I just think that people need to have their eyes wide open. And I'll tell you what, Perry, I'm also an American citizen, born most of my years alive have been in America. I love the United States. I'm celebrating 250 years from here in Israel this coming year. I'm afraid for the United States appeasing the radical Islam that's finding a very fertile home in U.S. soil.
A lot here. Quickly, how much has the recent activity in Syria, especially the killing of Americans, how does that now kind of like a wrench in the works there?
It should be a very cool wake-up call and slap in the face to the reality that Syria, at best, is not a stable ally, and at worst is just a different form of a jihadi government under a different regime. I would hope that would be the case, because, again, I don't think it does any good to appease radical Islam. I think the opposite. My fear is that there's too much of a imperative to find the urgency to make an agreement that Syria should be normalized by outside sources, which can't happen. It only can come from inside. And I don't know if and when that ever will happen. And overlooking the reality that there were 2 Americans killed in Syria very recently, and a little bit less recently, but within the last within the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, when my son's unit was in southern Syria, his unit was attacked, and several people were killed by terrorists aligned with the current president of Syria. So we just have to, as I said before, have eyes wide open and not be fooled by it.
I guess to that point, I'm just trying to scratch my head how President Trump can separate trying to create a relationship with the leader of Syria, who has an amazing terrorist background himself, from radical groups inside Syria that supposedly did this on their own without the administration knowing about it. I mean, it just doesn't quite pass the smell test.
No, you can overlook anything that you want to overlook. And even when Trump welcomed him in the White House shortly after he had think about it, he's the only world leader, I think, who until a year ago had a $10 million bounty on his head by the FBI. And somehow magnanimously the United States decided to give him a chance and remove the bounty on his head and then celebrate him as some kind of democratic reformist. None of that's the case. So I don't really understand fully I'm reminded by people who are more optimistic than I that President Trump has pulled many rabbits out from his sleeve, and maybe he in fact does have something up his sleeve. I don't know, and I won't rule it out, but just sitting on the ground here, looking at Syria, looking at Gaza, looking at Iran, looking at Lebanon, and the Houthis in Yemen, who've been very quiet recently, but could start things up again. We just need to, I've used the term, have our eyes wide open, and we're on the front line, so we can't risk.
Jonathan, from your perspective, how significant was the recent visit from 1,000+ pastors in Jerusalem? How significant was that event?
It's very significant. It shows Israelis a great deal of encouragement, a great deal of support. Hopefully the tourism is back, that many of these pastors will bring their own groups and begin to plan that. It's hard to say what will be, but that got a lot of media, and it's been the largest solidarity trip in Israel since the outbreak of the war, October 7th of 23, and deserves a lot of recognition, deserves a lot of credit. Unfortunately, I missed everybody because I was in Nashville and Atlanta when everyone was here, and I had all these friends texting me saying, hey, I want to see you. But very significant, and I am grateful for the organizers and everyone who participated.
Hanukkah was the beginning of Hanukkah was met with an unbelievable tragedy in Australia. We just can't wrap our head around this, and yet this is a very significant week in the Jews' calendar. It also has been a time that's been looked at as very vulnerable because everybody has turned to their faith and they don't seem to be on their guard. What's your take?
I don't know that we're any more vulnerable because we're celebrating the holiday. I think maybe even in the wake of the massacre that took place in Sydney this week, I think people are all the more celebratory because we're celebrating the overcoming. We're celebrating a military victory by the Maccabees over the Greeks, and we're celebrating a miracle from God when they were able to rededicate the temple after it had been desecrated and destroyed. I do want to just mention on a side note, Christians should be very connected to Hanukkah because the only biblical reference for the celebration of Hanukkah is in John 10 when Jesus came to Jerusalem to celebrate. So I think Christians should be connected with that. We have a saying, a funny quip in among Jews, that all our holidays more or less have the same theme. They tried to kill us, we won, let's eat. This is what happened 2,300 years ago with the Hanukkah story. It's what happened during the Exodus from Egypt. It's what happened during the Purim story with the book of Esther. And each holiday brings its different culinary delights, but ultimately we win. And it's very frustrating. It's sad to me that people in Australia are burying their loved ones during what's supposed to be a joyous festival, and will always have that festival marred by the anniversary of their loved one's death. This is the reality of Jewish life in the 21st century.
Are you surprised that the Australian government is slow to literally call this a terrorist attack?
Unfortunately, I'm not surprised. I'm astounded and I'm shocked, but it's the same appeasement of terrorists and jihadis and the way of thinking that one can wrap up a decades-long problem here by recognizing a fictitious state of Palestine, which Australia did, and simply was a matter of appeasing terrorists this past summer. I'm astounded that the Prime Minister of Australia has made a proper visit to one of the heroes of the massacre there, an Arab man who disarmed one of the terrorists and for whom we're all grateful. I'm astounded, however, that the Prime Minister has not stood more square with the Jewish population. When I was in Australia last, about a decade ago, Jews felt very safe, and I think now Australia is one of the places in the world that Jews are actually feeling least safe. And I'm tremendously dismayed, but it's a phenomena that we've seen with the terror attack in Australia this week, but we're seeing all over the West as well. You know, Christians should be deeply concerned about the shutting down of Christmas festivals throughout Western Europe because of jihadi threats. I think that's horrific and underscores why we at Genesis 123 Foundation, always bringing Jews and Christians together on the things that we have in common. And one of those, unfortunately, is a common enemy.
Yeah. Let me take a quick break. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, several places here that you can connect with Jonathan. He just mentioned Genesis 123.co.co. He also has another website, Solutions for Peace in Gaza. That's where he explains a really well thought out plan. That's solutionsforpeaceingaza.com. Also, the book, IsraelTheMiracle.com. There's a picture of the cover of the book. By the way, this would make a great gift. And then rootandbranchisrael.com. So those are the websites you can connect with them. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Ryan Robertson, host of a new program on the Dove, Ministries on the Move. This program is designed to help you and your ministry. Tell us your story. We want to know what God is calling you and your ministry to do. Let us help you have a greater impact. Contact us today at theDove to be a special guest with Ministries on the Move.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Leiser with Leiser Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Welcome back, and such an honor to have back with us our good friend Jonathan Fieldstein. He's the president of Genesis 123 Foundation. Several websites. You can go to genesis123.co, or solutionsforpeaceingaza.com, Israel the Miracle, which is the book, IsraelTheMiracle.com, to check out quite a few things. You can connect with them. He just returned from being in the United States on a speaking tour. He's back home there in Israel. Jonathan, I like you, I scratch my head, and I'm really trying to process in my mind and my heart the rise of anti-Semitism across the landscape. I'm also trying to wrestle this among how many Christians are leaning in that direction, if not already buying into it. When you look at Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Yemen, you got to ask yourself, and I know that you're not a doomsday guy, but you exist because of God's grace, power, and promise. You're still standing. My question, first of all, is the Abrahamic Accord having any impact these days?
That's a great question. I think we have to say, yeah. The answer to that has to be yes, because we know that even though there was no active war that Israel was engaged ever with the United Arab Emirates or with Bahrain, Morocco, I don't think participated ever in any wars against us. And what's the fourth country? I'm escaping the fourth of the Abraham Accord countries. But it allows us to have a little bit more sense of security. We are seeing direct flights. We're seeing resumption of commerce, trade, actually noting direct flights during the course of the war when I would travel back and forth more frequently than I expected. I would be flying through Dubai because Fly Dubai was one of the few airlines that maintained constant flights in and out of Israel throughout the last 2-year war. And there were a few interruptions, but I found that to be real reliable, and that's an encouragement. It's also a model, I believe, for other Arab and Muslim countries. So those are definitely things to be encouraged and hopeful for. Unfortunately, the countries that you just listed off that just felt like a all-star team of the people who hate us aren't any of the countries that are lined up in any reasonable future to actually make peace with us.
So there's talk about Saudi Arabia joining the accord. Is it too little, too late?
There was a lot more talk about the Saudis joining the accord in September of 23, right before the horrific attack on October 7th of 2023. And even though that attack had been very, very well planned for years in advance, there's a conventional wisdom that one of the reasons Hamas did it when they did it was to undermine a peace agreement with the Saudis. And that may be the case. I was a little disappointed when the Saudi Crown Prince visited Washington recently, and there was virtually no talk of the Saudis joining the Abraham Accords. I think that it seems like in private, President Trump and the Crown Prince had some disagreements on it, but in public, there's been no pressure on the Saudis to do so, and the Saudis remain very entrenched in the notion that in order to do so, there must be at least some sort of significant progress toward a two-state solution, which, if it's ever been more ridiculous, now it is, since October 7th of 23. I don't see that happening real soon, but then again, maybe President Trump has a rabbit to pull out from his hat, and maybe there will be some kind of change on that level.
Can you explain why we have extended, I guess maybe the term would be an olive branch, I don't know if that's the right term, to Qatar? It's kind of those, I realize we have a military base there. They're a great sponsor of terror across the landscape. The president wants to be friends with them. We have Syria over here that's still a member of NATO, and you kind of go, why is that even happening? There's some really weird things over there in the Middle East, but I don't understand the Qatar thing. I'm missing something. Can you tell me what I'm missing?
Yeah, just by way of clarification, it's not Syria that's a member of NATO, it's Turkey, which is a very dangerous Islamist country and should be expelled from NATO. Never belonged, I don't understand that, and certainly shouldn't be there now with a president who's openly threatening to reconquer Jerusalem as if he can have an Ottoman Empire. And no, I really can't explain why Qatar, other than the military base, which we've had, the United States, has had there for a significant period of time. But I have to say, I'm a little shocked that when President Trump issued an executive order to outlaw the Muslim Brotherhood, which is nearing, as we turn into 2026, where the Muslim Brotherhood and its ideology is nearing 100 years old and has corrupted Arab and Islamic thinking now for a century. And Qatar is one of those most prominent countries that has been the promulgator and proliferator of this ideology. And I simply don't understand why, when he talks about an executive order to outlaw the Muslim Brotherhood, that it's not in all its incarnations, including Turkey and including Qatar, and that the United States has enough influence to say, hey, reform or we're pulling out our bases and you'll have no support from us, and you can try and sell your oil all you want, but we're not going to allow you to continue to be successful. I think the U.S. is not exerting the kind of influence that it should be, and I think it's allowing a pass because of, again, this great Western myth that everyone wants to just get along. I don't think the Qataris just want to get along. And I think that between the government policies, between their funding Al Jazeera, which is probably one of the greatest propaganda voices since Hitler, we have something that's illogical and I believe dangerous for American interests.
So I guess it would be hypothetical, if not rhetorical. What if Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu went ahead and finished the job in Gaza? I mean, what's holding us back thinking that leaving Hamas intact at any level is a good thing?
Well, it's not a good thing. And that's one of the weaknesses of this ceasefire, 20-point ceasefire agreement. We have to remember we're still in phase one of this agreement until all of the hostages have been returned. And as I mentioned in the first segment, there's still one man whose body was he was killed and kidnapped October 7th of 23. That Israel says Hamas knows where his body is, but they've been reticent to release him. I don't have a real good answer. We've spoken, you and I, in the past a lot about our program that we've been promoting, solutionforpeaceingaza.com. I think that even if we were to align 50,000 more troops and go into Gaza City and eliminate the physical terrorists and the infrastructure from which they still operate, from which they've fired more rockets again at Israel this week, I think you still have this corrupt ideology that it's like playing whack-a-mole, that you don't ever really win. And unless there's a massive change of heart in Gaza, and that's the notion of solutionforpeaceingaza.com, to bring Christians to be responsible for the rebuild. Someone's got to rebuild Gaza. I wish only good things for the 2 million people who live there. And out the window to behind me, about 50 miles, I'd love to be able to drive to Gaza and go to the beach one day and get a kosher hamburger on the beach as a sign of actual peace between us. I'd like to see Gaza thrive like the United Arab Emirates is thriving. But I think that we have this a failed Western notion, and it's not new, but it's ongoing, that you can rationalize and treat jihadi people in a way that we would consider normal, and that they will respond in kind. And that's just not a reality. Yeah. It's not a reality in Gaza with Hamas. It's not a reality with Qatar. It's not a reality with President Erdogan in Turkey or the Iranian regime, and the list goes on.
The average Palestinian citizen in that area, do they see the divide? Do they see what Hamas has gotten them into?
So I can't speak on behalf of an average Palestinian. I look forward to being able to host you here, literally in my home, and go on the road. Remember, I live in what people pejoratively call the West Bank. At this season, it's especially a week before Christmas, important to remember this is Judea. This is where the Jewish Jesus was born, in Judea, almost a century and a half before anyone uttered the word Palestine. It was never a term that he had ever heard. And come drive the roads with me outside my house, and you'll see Israeli Jews and Palestinian Arabs sharing the roads. And if you and I go to the grocery store together, you'll see Israeli Jews and Palestinian Arabs shopping and working together alongside one another. My proof text of that is not that they all want peace and love us, but coexistence is possible. And yet, at any point, any one of them can be radicalized and wake up in the morning. And we've seen this happen countless times. Take a knife out of the drawer in the kitchen and go stab one or multiple Israeli Jews to death. And if they actually were to plan it, then there are any number of horrific incidents that could happen here. Fortunately, I would say here, which didn't happen in Australia, is that Israeli citizens are necessarily well armed. And if that were to happen to terrorists opening fire on a crowded event, more likely than not, they would have been taken out much quicker than what we saw in Australia. But I would like to hope that an average Palestinian Arab who lives half a mile from my house in the village called Abdullah Ibrahim just wants to go to work, make a living, put food on the table, and raise his children well. But then again, I wrote an article that was published in Town Hall this week calling out, I wrote that Islam, we need to outlaw extremist Islam. And many people wrote in the talkback on the Town Hall article that Islam and extremist Islam are one and the same, and therefore you can't trust them. And I don't want to go that far because in the end, I'm still a really naive optimist. But the reality is facing me and my children and my grandchildren that we always have to be cautious.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good to see you again, friend. Blessings on you and your family during this time and your son's protection. I look forward to many visits. Let me tell our viewers and listeners that you can go to Genesis123.co. That's one of the websites. Solutions for Peace in Gaza. That's very informative.com. Israel the Miracle. That's about the book. You can go to israelthemiracle.com and rootandbranchisrael.com. Good to see you, my friend, and let's stay connected.
Always a pleasure, Perry. God bless you. Merry Christmas.
You too, buddy.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian owned and operated, pet friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Okay, welcome back, and always a delight when I have time to sit down with our good buddy Doug Gould. He is the executive director of Rock Recovery Center, and what an amazing organization. Go to rocrecoverycenter.org is the website. There's the picture of the page. And this organization is there to help in many, many, many ways with any kind of addiction and recovery. Mm-hmm. And they do it through a mentoring program, which is hugely successful. You started a new, was it a daily devotional thing?
We do. We have a daily devotion that we send out. We started it a few months ago. And if you want to get on that, just email us at therockrecoverycenter@gmail.com.
Okay.
And get on the daily devotion, and it's inspirational. I tell personal stories and
yeah, it's really good.
Daily application. Mm-hmm.
All right. So he sent me an email the other day. It was this long.
Which I got from Buffy Pollock from Rogue Valley Times.
All right. So and I'm reading through this, and I go, oh man, this is quite
crazy.
A topic.
I know.
So I called Pauline. I said, get Doug on. So it has to do with kratom?
Kratom. Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what this is.
Yeah,
but
crazy.
He actually bought some and brought it in.
I know,
over
right?
the counter. What is Kratom?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, good to see you.
And this is just wonderful. This is actually just beautiful what God's done. And just want to say thank you to all the viewers for supporting. I love what we say, supporting and believing in and praying for us at the Dove, because when you give to the Dove, you actually help organizations and parachurch ministries like us get out there and get the word out. So anyway, I got this email from Buffy Pollock from Rogue Valley Times, and she goes, "Hey, did you hear what's going up in the Portland area called gas station heroin?" And I began to read it, and I said, "Well, yeah, this has been around for years." When I was a director at Foundations for Recovery, we had a couple exposures of it, and I decided to start studying it. And kratom is actually an opiate. It comes from an opiate plant called mitragina. They process the plant almost like coffee. They can make it into teas and things like that, liquid, pill form. And kratom is actually advertised as a pain relief, anxiety management. They also use it for energy and focus. But realistically, in small doses, it seems to be pretty helpful for people. But just like any type of drug, we begin to get a tolerance for it. And what has happened is it builds up an addiction behavior. You have the same type of craving, same type of withdrawals for this plant. Now, what has come from this, and these are, I bought these right over the counter, right? And I didn't go to any marijuana dispensary. I went to little convenience stores on the corner, and I went to a couple smoke shops. Everybody sells it. It's Oregon is one of the states that has legalized it. There are about 10 states nationwide that have banned it. Other states like Oregon have some restriction on it. The restriction is you have to be over 18 to purchase this, okay? But like anything, anyone can find this stuff. So what has happened is they have taken the original plant, and in the plant there's a chemical called 7-O. It's hydromitragina. And they found out that this has a additional potency. So basically they've taken the kratom, added additional chemical to it called tianeptine. Tianeptine is the chemical that they're now putting in kratom, and you're getting the same hit as heroin. It's called gas station heroin. Comes in a beautiful package. Looks like it's sold as a supplement or a daily energy type of packet and powder. So, yep. People are getting hooked on it.
Over the counter.
Over the counter.
All right, so...
And what was interesting, you want to hear this?
What is it? This is a powder from the plant.
This is a powder from the plant.
What are you supposed to do with this?
Well, you can mix it up.
How naive I am.
Okay, so...
You put this in your coffee or what?
Well, you can put it in like a tea. Make some tea with it, right?
Okay.
And what was interesting is when I went around to these stores, Perry, I didn't go incognito, but I did go in with the idea that I want to find out, but I didn't want to let people know what I was there for. So I said, well, I've got some knee pain, and I heard about this, and I purposely pronounced it incorrect, called kratom. And you mean kratom, and you could see it right there as I walked through the front door. Kratom sold here. Right, and so I went into this one convenience store, where you get anything.
Your ice cream bar.
You can.
Okay.
In fact, yeah. I was tempted right going out the door. Anyway, and I said, "Do you have kratom?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's right here." Right, and she showed me different makes on it. The other store I went into, everyone had it. I went into, okay, but I couldn't find tianeptine. And when I asked if you guys have tianeptine, most of them said no, that's illegal in the state of Oregon. There were a couple of them that paused and hesitated and asked why. And I said, well, I hear it's a little bit more potent than kratom, right? And then both of them said, no, we don't sell it here. Well, I've played enough poker in my life to tell me, I saw the facial tells that you've got it here, right? I don't know.
You didn't have the code word.
I didn't have the code word to get right. But here's this. What this is was this individual gave me 3 packets, and he says, I would start with this in the morning to pick you up. This is helping for anxiety during the day, and this will help you sleep.
Really?
And I said, well, how much do I owe you? And he says, well, just take it. First one's free. And I went, first one's free. And I've heard that statement so many years in my life in working in the field of addiction, because that's what drug dealers do. First one's free. The idea is this can be as addictive as other chemicals that we work with. We've got 2 clients that we're trying to get off of the kratom. Mm-hmm.
So why hasn't the FDA picked up on this?
I just think it's education. You know, I got to tell you something. And when I sent the email to Paulina last night, I said, let Perry know that I am so with President Trump of doing the war on drugs with fentanyl. Folks, we are saving lives. And for those in opposition, I would like for those in opposition of what Trump is doing with the drug cartels, first of all, I'm going to look at this camera. I'm going, there's a difference between a high-speed boat with drugs in it versus a fishing vessel.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, we're not that, naive to figure what are they transporting here.
Yeah.
But the idea is we're saving lives. And those in opposition, I would like you to come to the ER when someone's overdosing, or talk to the parent that walked into their kitchen with a needle in the kid's arm who died, and let you know that this war on drugs, I'm glad he's doing what we're doing.
Okay.
Right? So I just wanted to give a shout out to our current administration that, yes, this is a war. We're saving lives because we're not letting the stuff come in through our channels. So
are young people getting this?
Yes. In fact, what happened is just like anything. You know, Perry, I think you asked me a question a long time ago. How are you getting your marijuana? How are you getting your drink? Well, I can hang around any convenience store and give somebody $20 and say, you can buy me liquor. Oh, sure, right? Not a problem. And so with what's going out there is that, how can I put it this way? They don't care who they sell it to, I feel. This is my opinion. I can get cards and letters on this, but I don't think they care who they sell it to, right? They just want customers, right? And realistically, and the cool thing yesterday, we were at Scenic Middle School again, right? And by the way, just keep praying, because it looks like we got the doors open thanks to Jim and Amy Winans. We're taking our school program. We're still in talks with South Medford now.
Oh, great.
So yeah, we're finally in there. But yesterday we were at Scenic Middle School, and we do a little a quick synopsis on the top 4 drugs in Oregon among teens. And then we had one coach and 2 clients share their testimony and their recovery, and those kids just ate it up. They were asking question after question after question, and that was Miss Mason over there at Scenic Middle School in the health class. It's just that we need to get out there to educate people. Who knew about this?
Yeah, I didn't.
Not a lot of people know about this, but we need to advocate the fact that there are things out there in our community that we need to be aware of. This has been around for years, but now they're adding the additional chemical to it, which is creating a higher potency.
Okay, so this is being done without regulation.
Mm-hmm. There's no FDA approval on this.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Should there be?
Yes.
Okay, so how do we get it in front of the FDA?
I guess advocacy, first of all, through the county levels, and then through the state. And that's why many, Kentucky just came on board of banning it.
Okay.
There's a recent article up there in KTVL in Portland. They're seriously thinking of what they're facing or what they're seeing lately, right? With banning it totally. But right now it's just restricted in state of Oregon.
So obviously this is a gateway drug.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like marijuana is, and we need to understand that with what it's doing to our young people. Vaping marijuana. Vaping is really cool among teens, but you can actually vape marijuana. Mm-hmm. So when you see a kid vaping and you see the vapor, you wonder, is that actually nicotine, or do they have the wax material and the liquid for marijuana?
So this doesn't need to be black market. It's out in the open. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you're 18, you can get it. If you're under 18, somebody's got to get it for you, unless you look 18.
Well, the thing is...
Are they IDing people?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't ID'd, but, I do look 18. But anyway... but my point is that it's out there, and again, it's a form of opiate, which is a heroin, which is a painkiller, but depending on how they make it and design it, they can actually kind of create a condition of what you want from it. Because one of the guys at the store said, "Do you want to get high or do you want to get mellow?" And I said, "Well, give me both."
Really? He actually asked you that. So they've been trained in this, so is there a wholesaler on this?
I have no idea. I'm still investigating. When I found this about 14 years ago when I was at Foundation for Recovery, I'm going, what is this? And then it kind of went away because then fentanyl started coming into the picture, But now this is making a comeback because of the tianeptine, that chemical now that they've added to the kratom. So
okay, a lot here. By the way, I can't say enough about the organization, rocrecoverycenter.org. That's the website. If you're struggling with an addiction, by the way, I know we talk a lot about drugs and alcohol, but there are a lot of other addictions out there. The other day, I got to call somebody with an addiction. It wasn't drug and alcohol. I referred them to you, so I don't know what your addiction could be, but their organization will sit down with people who have come through that and walk you through it as well. So let me take a quick break. We'll be right back.
At Kelly's Automotive Service,
being good stewards of what God has entrusted to us
is at the core of our business.
We believe what we do matters.
Every interaction, every transaction is another opportunity
to bring Christ's values into the marketplace.
If you're a technician who wants to be part of something bigger,
or just looking for a new shop to bring your vehicle,
we would love to meet you.
We're Kelly's Automotive Service,
where we service your vehicle
but take care of you.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital-Based Intervention Grant.
Okay, welcome back. Doug Gould's with us today. He's the Executive Director of Rock Recovery Center here in Southern Oregon. He and his team just have ministered to thousands of people and helped them with their addiction and get off. And it's an amazing program. It works. And if you're struggling, and they also have support groups. Let me just say this. If a member of your family is involved in something you don't know what to do, they have programs to help you, to help them, and how to handle it. I'm holding in my hand here they're calling this the gas station what?
Gas station heroin. This is
gas station heroin.
Yeah. So basically, this is in the kratom form. So what they see that's actually called gas station heroin. This is an opiate, right? Comes from the mitrogenical plant. Right? In small doses, it seems to start out well with people's management, pain, anxiety, energy, and stuff like that. However, you continue to take it, you're going to have the same withdrawal effects, nausea, anxiety, insomnia, body aches, same thing as opiates, okay? Because your body becomes tolerant to what you're taking. What they've done with this, and the way they cultivate it is just like a tobacco plant. They dry it out and then they start processing it. This is in tea form. They also have pills, but this is the liquid form. And so what they're doing is now they're taking this and adding the additional derivative to it from the plant called tianeptine. Well, the chemical is called tianeptine, but it's called hydromitrogena, which is called 7-O. There's 7 different type of components that they're adding to that. That's the gas station heroin. But this is still opiates. You're holding in your hand a mild form of opiates, and if you take it enough, you're going to build up an addiction toward it.
Okay, they fool you by saying all natural.
Correct, and that's how they advertise it. You know that it's a natural supplement. It will help you. It will help you get off. That's another thing they do. You know, they say you could take this to get off the main drug. And I have seen our clients and other clients who are getting off opiates and heroin and meth, and they start taking this stuff, so they help with the dope sickness, right? And it helps them. And then they start taking this and this more. They're not taking the other stuff, but now they're taking this, and they build up an addiction toward this. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yep. It's called Kratom.
Kratom. Mm-hmm.
Kratom. You may want to look for that. You probably, if you're in and out of convenience stores or these little stores, you'll see it for sale. Yep. It's unregulated at the moment. I don't know where we're going to go with this, but this is now over-the-counter gateway drugs.
Yeah, it's been around.
It's just horrible.
And if you see different packages, colorful packages, right? Look on the ingredients and see what's in there, mm-hmm. right? If you see Kratom, or if you see 7-O, or if you see tianeptine, things of that nature, then you know you've got the higher dosage. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, mm-hmm.
Wow. So it's been out there for a while, but now it's been remarketed and packaged. It's available over the counter. Mm-hmm. Your team is aware of it. You're gearing up for it. Caught early enough, you can get them off?
Sure. Then the fact the clients that we are working with, they're doing really well on it. In fact, what was interesting yesterday when we were at Scenic Middle School, we were talking, at lunch with one of my staff members and 2 clients, and I told one of our staff members that I had gone out to purchase this stuff, and I showed them. And what was interesting was she says, "Well, I have a whole old bottle of it." And I said, "Well, what did you use it for?" She goes, "To get off the stuff I was on." And I said, "Well, I would like to see that old bottle that you have, right?"
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how actually it goes around even in the recovery community, that if you don't want the dope sickness, try this or try that. It's a mild tea. It will relax you.
So recovery centers are using it as a.
I'm not saying that, but the suggestion is out there that that's how I discovered it over at Foundation for Recovery.
Okay.
I said, "Now, who told you that?"
Yeah.
Right? And I was told about this, and that's why I wanted to look it up. So we were one of the first ones to bring it to everyone's attention years ago on a workshop, but it's made a comeback, and so that's why I'm here to tell parents and teenagers and our viewers that look out for this stuff. So.
Okay, very addictive. Kratom. Yep. So a quick update. How bad is the drug situation among young people today? Is it marijuana? You'd mentioned vaping. What's
okay?
The issue?
So the top 3 right now with our young people is vaping, and then you have which is the nicotine vaping, but you've got alcohol. Gosh, I'm having I just did the workshop yesterday. Mm-hmm. So we've got that's the issue right now is the vaping and the alcohol. The vaping's out of control. It's just out of control with our young people. And I tried to explain yesterday with the students that vaping, and I just want to educate our viewers. If you ever walk out of a shower and you see the mirror and it's got all moisture on it, that's from the vapor in the shower. That's what your lungs look like when you vape. You're not just blowing it back out into the air. You're actually sucking that in. There's 2 different types of forms with smoking. You've got the cigarettes, which burns the nicotine, because tobacco is flammable, mm-hmm. right? But you're putting hot air and smoke into the lungs. When it cools off, it forms a tar, right? That's where we get that issue. With the vaping liquid, if I had a vial of vape juice for you, It's got liquid nicotine in it. But liquid nicotine tobacco, liquid, it's not flammable. There has to be an added chemical in that liquid so it can ignite. So when you ignite the liquid, which is the toxics and the flammable, you're sucking that into your lungs. But when it cools, it holds onto the fibrous tissues of the lungs because of the glycerins in the flavor.
Oh.
And that's why these kids are just sucking it down, right? And then they're getting addicted to it very quickly because it's nicotine. You're sucking down nicotine. You know, some of these kids are sucking down 2 vials a week, which is equivalent of, 8 packs of cigarettes,
Fentanyl. All out war against fentanyl, but it's in the system, it's out there, and I understand it's also being used as a lace drug over other drugs.
Sure.
Is that true?
Yep.
So that's lethal, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. And then also they're actually selling fentanyl pills. I've got one kid that's off a year off fentanyl. He was getting in a small dosage. He'd rather think about this. I'm not going to go ahead and take this drug. I'm just going to go right for the fentanyl.
Okay.
Right? And you're just basically playing Russian roulette. Don't know if it's gonna OD you or not. But yes, drug dealers. Listen, I know there's dispensaries that sell marijuana and things of that nature, but there is still an under black market dispensaries, if you will, if that's even the word. But there is a lot of stuff out there, and drug dealers. I will tell you, drug dealers just do not care. They're going to lace fentanyl to get the more potency of that drug to get the person addicted quickly to that drug. And so when the chemical hits the brain activity and that dopamine levels is released, the faster the dopamine levels hit the neurotransmitters of the brain activity, the quicker the addiction could become in that person's lifestyle.
So we see zombies on the street. Is that fentanyl or meth?
No, that's a lot of heroin.
Oh.
Yeah. Meth is a stimulant. Meth will just, you can walk to Central Point to Medford in 10 minutes. I mean, they'll keep you up for days, right?
Okay.
Now, some will do both, right? But what you see on a lot of the nodding out, if you see the nodding out, I pulled the car over the other day over by my good friend Mark over that owns Luigi's, right? And I went to go to see him, and he wasn't there. But I saw this kid just knocked out on the corner, and I didn't know if he was breathing or not. So I went up to him, rubbed his chest, and he came out and asked him if he needed help, and he rejected it. But that's what you see. You see a lot of nodding out. You see people they could be standing on the street corner just kind of like dozing. I've had people sit across the desk from me, right, and I could see them nodding out. That's a form of that's heroin. It's opiates.
Well, listen, this is heavy stuff, I know that, but I think parents and viewers be aware of this thing called Kratom, Kratom, over-the-counter, accessible, various combinations of it. Be aware of it. If you see that in your house, you better ask yourself how to get there and what's going on with it. But overall, whatever your addiction may be, I know we talk a lot about drugs, alcohol, there's pornography, there's spending addictions, there's, I don't know, gosh, everybody's got, something.
We do all forms. And we do have a parent support group, first and third Mondays of each month. And we want to be out there to help people.
All right, rocrecoverycenter.org. It starts with you making a very anonymous phone call, and that will start, and you are on your way for help.
There you go.
It all depends on whether or not you're desperate enough for help.
Yeah.
rocrecoverycenter.org. Thank you, Doug. Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's been an exciting year filled with many improvements at theDove. There's still more work ahead. Would you prayerfully consider a special year-end gift to renew tower leases and a broadcast expansion to reach new viewers? Thank you from theDove.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities.